Have you got what it takes to win? Have you got what it takes to win? Have you got what it takes to win?
Welcome to the 2023 Pokemon Unite World Championships from sunny Yokohama, Japan. We are live here at the Pacific Coast Center in, of course, Yokohama to crown a champion of Pokemon Unite this year. One of the most competitive years that we have had yet in Pokemon Unite, and we have 28 teams fighting over that title on what is an incredible main stage. The energy in this venue is already off the charts, and I cannot wait. Groups from all around the world are here to represent their regions, and of course, we are here to break down all the action. My name is Zoinks, joined here by Wonder Chef. How you doing today, Wonder Chef?
I am so excited. This community has been together through thick and thin this season. This has been the most exciting season of the Unite Championship Series, and it's all coming down to this. We're going to be crowning at the end of this weekend our second Unites World Champion. But if anybody wants to know or doesn't know how this format is working out for this weekend, we've got an explainer for you.
Yo, hello. सुनो भाई क्या हाल है कैसे पूरा एकदम ऐसा मॉर्निंग का टाइम है बाप रे एकदम ऐसा बहुत ज़्यादा एक्साइटमेंट है इसमें ये देखने का सोल का क्या हुआ है एक्चुअली में और बताओ क्या हाल है सुबह इतने जल्दी कुछ जगह को जरा ये लोग को बुला लेते इसी बुलाते जरा बंदों को थोड़े
High stakes will test the resolve in the most anticipated tournament of the year. On the first day of the World Championships,
सब लोग को बंदों को बुला ले लाइव चल रहा है क्या अभी यप लाइव चल रहा है
The best teams from each group will advance forward.
अभी चालू है
This takes us into the second day, where the top teams from day 1 will battle
कौन सा
through
क्या
a double
सीन है ना मैं इसलिए वही देख रहा हूँ
elimination all the way to the grand final. Everything is on the line here, as the winning team can look forward to being crowned the world champions, as well as take the lion's share of the $500,000
अरे इतना
prize pool.
$500,000 का प्राइस पूल है क्या एक करो थोड़ा
Who will ultimately win? Will there be any surprises? Comeback stories? You never know what'll go down. Be sure to tune in and find out.
ये बहुत सही है इन लोगों ने प्राइस पूल बढ़िया रखा है
इस बार only crown one by the end of the weekend, and of course there's a long road to doing that. Wonder Chef, why don't you break that down for the people about how we are going to get to that point?
Oh, that's right. Of course, we are going to be starting today.
ये round robin format में कितने टीम के साथ फाइट है?
Round robin. Now, each of these teams is going to play against every other team within their group. The single team in each group with the best results is making it to tomorrow for the finals.
ऑन करेगा मैं थोड़ा टाइम बाद.
Best of 3. 8
फेस कैम का जुगाड़ करना पड़ेगा लेकिन हो जाएगा.
One from every group, and it'll be double elimination, where eventually at the end
खेलने जाएंगे प्राइस अच्छा होगा तो.
best of 5 to decide who our champion will be.
And in addition to crowning a champion, you're also awarding a whole lot of prize pool, $500,000 on the line, with first place taking home a grand prize of $100,000. The stakes could never be higher.
80 लाख के आसपास है फर्स्ट तू कैसे जग रहा है अरे अभी उठाऊं मैं जग सकती हूँ 3 बजे सोया हूँ 3 बजे अरे अब उठाऊं
Wonder Chef, it is wonderful to be here. I'm hyped, you're hyped, the crowd is hyped, but also those trainers from
इतने
home
लोग
are
देखते हैं
also
क्या
hyped. So
बाप रे
I cannot wait to see how today pans out.
Oh, me neither. And it's
आधे
going
लोग
to be
ही ना
so
उस साइड ही देख
exciting
रहे
from start to finish. Let's take a look
उन
at
लोग
the
अपना
first
शक्ल नहीं
4
दिखाने
groups that we have here today. A,
SATL
B, C,
किधर है?
and D rounding
SATL
out
किधर है?
our
SATL
first 4. And of course, a whole lot of talent packed
SATL
into
किधर है?
just these 4 groups.
That's right, and you'll notice that there are regions next to each of these teams. The regions have been split up within their groups, so the only way they're going to be playing against each other early is if they end up doing very well, and then at that point, it's a problem that you like to have because the second half
group
of
G
our
में भाई
teams
मेरे को लगा SATL गायब हो
here, F, G, and H, and let me tell you, these groups are just absolutely terrifying, just at the maximum level of talent across the board.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a deep dive into. We're gonna take a deep dive into each of those groups in just a second here. But obviously, so much talent across the board, so many regions. Kello, is there any region you specifically have your eye on?
Look, obviously, being from the OC region, I have
मैं
to
इनका
cheer
मैच
for
देखने के
my
लिए खास
folks
उठा
at
हूँ।
home.
Absolutely.
मेरा
All right, well, let's
मूड
deep
का
dive
कचरा ना
into
कर
each
दे
of these
लोग
regions.
बस।
Starting out with Group A,
मेरा और
we have
इधर
Peru
जितने भी
from
लोग
Latin
देखने वाले
America
ना
South, Secret
उन
Ship
लोग
from Japan, Team
किसका
3
मैच है ये
stars
पहले?
of Korea, and Latin America
जिन्हें मेरे को
North
याद है
team is gonna be
6:15 को
the second
इंडिया का
seed.
मैच है।
A very, very solid group. And we're gonna start off with Team Peru here. An incredibly successful season
पेरू वालों का
all
मैच है ये
year
पहले।
long. A ton of
पहला
championship
मैच
points,
किसका है?
only having one slightly worse performance near the end of the year. But other than that, a dominant squad. But now it's their chance to prove it on the world stage against so many other teams.
That's right. This is
पहला
going
मैच
to be
किसका है?
very
पहला मैच
cool to
किसका
see
है?
all of these regions go up against each other. This is a great one to start
Oh,
off with this
oh,
group
oh, oh,
to see
oh,
an
oh.
example of that. Because of course the team.
मेरे को तो लूटानो का मैच देखने है भाई, लूटानो और ओवरलॉर्ड।
One of them is Secret
ये
Ship.
दोनों लोग का तो
And
फुल
Secret
तोड़फोड़
Ship
है।
is a team that of course is coming out as first seed out of Japan, a region that has been looking very, very strong in Pokemon Unite as of recently. I mean, I can think a lot of regions kind of are, but especially Japan. And so I'm very excited to see them in particular. Of course, we've all got the home turf advantage for them as well, being here in Japan.
Look, I'm really excited to see Team 3 stars. I need to know if we can actually rate them 3 stars out of 3 today. We'll obviously have to see how
Team
they
3
pan
star
out
Japan
against
की
these
टीम है
teams,
क्या?
but there's also Harwin from
ये लोग
Latin
जापानी
American
खेले
North. We're
इतने
going to
सुबह
have to see
सही
how
है।
they go.
अरे भव्य,
Yeah, I'm
अरे
excited
यो
to
यो
watch
यो
Hoenn on
यो।
this main stage. Absolutely.
तुम लोग
Second
अभी भी
seed coming
जिंदा
out
हो
of the
गए।
region. However, the start of the season within
मेरे
their
को
region
लगा
was
तुम लोग
all
भाई
them.
सोए
Hoenn
हो
was
रहे थे रे।
untouchable in the first few monthly finals. AO's Cup
ये
was the
टाइम पे
first slip up
नॉर्मली
for them. But I mean, a
अरे
super solid team. Latin America
नाइस
North
वन रे,
definitely
अच्छा
proving to
स्टिल
be
था
one
ये।
of the more aggressive
साला
team
यही
fight
क्या है?
focused regions. Hoenn
ये बढ़िया
really
स्टिल था।
encapsulates that strategy really well. I'm excited to see that.
क्यूरी
Watch
भी
out
ना
for Kira
शाना
on
बन
that
रहा है
main
क्या?
tech.
ब्लास्टी
That's
का
the
शील्ड
player
तोड़ेगा
I
ये
have in
इसमें।
mind when I am watching
अरे
Team
3
Hoenn.
बजे
So I'm
जगह हुआ
excited
हूँ।
to see that
3
roster
बजे का।
play.
That's right. When
3
we
बजे
gotta
का।
move on.
मैं
There are
3
so
बजे
many
सोने
teams
गया
to
हूँ।
talk about. Group B even. Rex Region
3
Keon,
बजे सोने
Exo
जाके आया
Plan,
हूँ मैं।
Nouns Esports, and Orangutan.
ए यार
rounding
मैंने
out
पता है
this group. We can
रुको
start
रुको
off
रुको
with
मैं ना
RRQ.
फोन में वो खोल
Honestly,
देता
we
हूँ
have so many of these
गाइस
teams from
जिस चीज
Impact,
को
which I kind of
अपना
feel like we
अपना
should be talking about this as a region
ये
just
करने
to
का
kind
ना
of cap things off here, where
क्या बोलते हैं
Impact in
रिवॉर्ड्स चाहिए ना
general is showing a
डेली
lot of really
वाला
good
वो
promise.
खोलो
And when we talk to a lot of these teams, there have been a lot of the
मतलब
teams
VPN खोलो
from the
VPN
region,
लगाओ
both
गेम
Impact
चालू
West
करो और
and
स्पेक्टेट
Impact
करो
East,
ये
that
लोग
have
को
really been on the radar
तुम
a
लोग
little
को
bit more than I think a lot of people
रिवॉर्ड्स
thought.
मिलेंगे
And of course, RRQ is going to be one of those
लेकिन
teams.
VPN में लगाना मत
It's not
भूलना
just those battles internally within those regions, but it's obviously all of these other battles. But one team that I have my eye on is definitely Exoplan. Obviously being from the OC region, the #1 seed. Definitely keep your eye out on Ethos. They played a spectacular game in the
अरे 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 अरे
regionals.
Oh, yeah, the skill caliber on
अरे
Exo
बहुत
Plan
हार्ड
seems
है
really,
ये
really
अच्छा था
high.
ये
I'm
बहुत मस्त
excited
था
to see it when they go up against opponents the caliber of Nouns Esports. Now, a lot of people have this name
अच्छा था
front and center in their tournament predictions
और
because they,
अभी
of
उड़ भी
course,
गए
were the second seed
हाँ
of
मैं
the
2.5
year,
घंटा
but
ही
also
नींद लिया
the
हूँ
runner-up at last year's
3 बजे
World
समथिंग सोया मैं 5:30
Championships.
बजे
So
उठा
much
हूँ
stage experience now, a Worlds and EUIC event, and now
मैं
here at
एक्साइटेड तो
Worlds
हो रही है ये वाले
again,
इवेंट के लिए
this team
क्योंकि
comes
क्या है
with
ना अभी
experience,
WCS
they
आ रहा है
come
अपना
with
टीम
talent, but honestly,
गया
I think
हुआ
a
है
lot of people credit
देखते
their
हैं
coordination and team play as the biggest strength.
Yeah, well, it's just a well-known team, of course, so really one that we're going to be looking at. But another team that I'm personally going to be looking at, of course, the final team of
पॉइंट
this
वही है ना
is going to
कि
be
इंडिया के अगर
Orangutan.
लोग
I was talking about
खेले
the
ना रहे
impact
अच्छे
both the
से तो
regions
थोड़ा
for
सा
a
वो हो
reason at the
जाएगा
start of this group, and that's we've got, of course, Orangutan as well, which is a very, very strong team with a very wild play style. From everything that I've seen from them, I'm really excited to see how they play. They bring some very unique things to the table, and we'll see exactly what that might be this time around. I know we're going to be seeing a lot of very cool surprise picks throughout the weekend. We're going to be seeing a lot of surprises.
मेरे को मैच देखने का पता है किसका है अपना अभी 6-15 को अपना पहला ही इंडिया का है जो लोग स्टार्ट करने वाले हैं ना पहला ही इंडिया का मैच है
From Group C, we have from the EU region,
तालिबोबो का भी बहुत बढ़िया है
we have
यूरोप
0
की
0
टीम में
Nation and OC region returning team.
उसी रीजन कौन सा
So obviously, I
अरे,
claim
अरे,
they
अरे।
do have that stage experience. They've experienced world
उसी region कौन सा है?
and I believe some of the players from 0 0 Nation also did too. But we obviously have those fan favorites, Tally, Bobo, Believers, Zoinks. What do
ताली
you think
बोबो
about
क्या
this
सीन है
team?
मेरे को
I
वो
mean,
भी
there's
देखना
so many people's prediction to be the champion at the end of this week.
है क्या
Such
डॉज
an
किया उसने
incredible
नाइस है
season, and just watching their
ये
gameplay,
अच्छा
they
था
truly look untouchable. Not only that, they are coming second place overall in terms of
एंडी
championship
क्या
points
बात है
for
नाइस
this entire
क्या
event. So
आंखों
a
की
lot
जब
of
डार्क
success
सर्कल आएंगे तो फिर
following
मजा
them
आएगा
there. They have
एंशिएंट
such
टाइम
an
रीजन
interesting
बहुत टाइम
playstyle. And well, when I say
पुराना
interesting, I
लाइक
mean their playstyle is to win
एंशिएंट
a
टाइम
whole lot,
रीजन
from the start of the
ओसी
game all the way to the end of the game. A
ओवरक्लॉक
very competitive team, and well, they have that
एंशिएंट टाइम रीजन
reputation
क्या
for
होता
a
है
reason. I'm excited
ये
to see Tally Bobo play this weekend.
क्या स्टन में मार रहा है वो कौन है ये बंदा कौन है चैंडलर इनकी टीम का क्या खेल रहा है भाई खेलना सिखा दे मेरे को
Well, at least one of maybe three that really could be looking to take them down. It's 0-0 Nation. They are the team that has been
साले इतना बढ़िया कैसे खेल
dominant as
रहा है
well within their own region, and honestly, just being able to talk to them a little bit before
क्या
the
हिस्वान ना
actual tournament started, I
हिस्वान?
felt like their mental was so
हिस्वान क्या है?
good. They are here, they are happy, they have been taking a little bit more relaxed and just feeling like they are confident in what they've been doing, and for very good reason. They have been one of the most dominant teams overall if we look at the entire season of UCS this year, and for a very good reason. They are just so incredibly strong. So already there's a reason why people have been looking at this group and saying this is kind of the one that's the hardest to get out of. Of course, they're all going to be very difficult, but just having Tally Bobo Believers, ZEUSAlpha Nation, and Icon all in one group, and
Hype.
like
अरे लुका
lots
व्हाट्स
of
अप
experience from Worlds altogether.
तो तुम लोग भी यही सुबह सुबह उठे होगा ये देखने के लिए कौन कौन उठे रे तुम लोग को भी देखने का था क्या अरे अरे येड़े अबे पागल वो बंदे को रोकने के लिए इसने अल्ट चला दी भाई अभी अल्ट चलाई क्या बंदे तो अल्टी मार ली देखा लास्ट अभी ये डेसी क्या घंटा उखाड़ेगा ये मत बोलना कि उसने सिक्योर किया है हाँ भाई अगर वो सिक्योर कर लेता ना वही बचा हुआ होता सारा खेल रहा है वो रैपिड लगाया लगता है चलो ये लोग का डेसी का बिल्ड क्या है ना जानना पड़ेगा Amaterasu, अरे
Amaterasu from North America,
Amaterasu को भी चॉकलेट एंड स्नैक्स लेकर बैठा हूँ ये वेलो को आज सुबह सुबह यस भाई अरे WCS है ना तो अरे तुम लोग ने देखा क्या वो डोडरी अंदर आ ही नहीं पाया उसको अंदर आने का था वो एडे को लगा कि वो अंदर आ जाएगा रिक्वर्स ने अपने दरवाजे ही नहीं खोले उसके अच्छे सारे इधर से बाहर शाना बनेगा कूल बनेगा साले उसके मार दिया बंदा ये गंदा था खराब लगा
And Fusion is
like
one of those teams that I'm very much looking at just on a personal level. I feel like there's been so much competition within those regions that they've all leveled up immensely.
Oh, they have leveled up immensely indeed, but you know what? A team that leveled up from the NA region is Amaterasu. Obviously being the second seed there, I do have my eye on rolling it down, being that flex player, but also Nudo on the tank. We have seen some incredible support and plays from that player.
Yeah, that role swap for them has been really good, by the way, right? So Nudo playing a lot of different roles in their competitive history.
अरे कौन चला रहा है?
Switching up to the defender
कंपनी
position
ने
has been
उसको
fantastic for this team, I think.
चिपका हुआ है क्या?
Definitely a good play
डोडरियो
caller,
को
comes in with a lot of experience, and just
अबे
a team
डोडरियो
that
तो
you can
उसको
kinda
मारने
trust and allows trainer
ब्लीसी
and
मारने के लिए
bench
भाग गया
to
क्या?
work, which is something I love to see from this
अबे
team.
डोडरियो
I've talked about play styles a lot. I think Amaterasu's got a very interesting one, but another
मजाक
one
मजाक
we
करता है
have
क्या रे
to
तू
talk about that was
अरे
the final
कुछ की
team
दे
in
दिया
this
तेरे को
group of Rise Gaming. They are the second seed
मैं तो
from
स्कूल
the
जाने के लिए
Brazil
रेडी हो रहा हूँ
region. They were playing under a few different names, so the B-roll here saying that
अरे रे
True Esports is this squad. You know, they just got to change their
तुम्हारा
names. So a bit of a
तुम और तुम्हारे
Rolodex of a
स्कूल
team.
भाई
However, they were second seed coming out of this region, but so close against 0-0
हमारा तो
Nation
इधर
the
मस्त
entire
एकदम
year. Even
मैच
that
देखेंगे
regional
पूरा का
finals,
पूरा
it came down to a bracket
सोल का क्या
reset.
होता है
Game
इसके
5
साथ तुम
for
लोगों को मालूम है
0-0
क्या
Nation to take
लुमिनोसिटी
down,
के अगेंस्ट
take
मैच
down
है
Rise
सोल
Gaming.
का
So
शायद
these
से
teams
लुमिनोसिटी
are
में
so
वो है
incredibly close,
क्या
and I
बोलते हैं
know they
अपना
are looking to prove that they should be the champions, and they are pushing for a little bit higher
Overlord
here
है
at the World Championships.
टीटीवी में लूटानो है ओवरलॉर्ड में है ना ओवरलॉर्ड इसी में है ना लुमिनोसिटी में है ना या फिर टीटीवी में है वो
searching and
इस
searching
वैसे
and
जिसमें भी है मेरे को नाम
and,
नहीं
you
याद,
know, we'll see if that
लेकिन
strategy works out, but I'd love to
तोड़ने
see
वाला
all
है
the
वो
name changes.
अगर
Let's move on,
लुमिनोसिटी में है
though,
तो.
to Group E with TTV, Team
हाँ,
MYS,
टीटीवी में तो लुटानो है.
MJK, and Team Peps. This is going to be one of my favorite groups to watch on a
लुटानो है.
personal level. Of
किधर है?
course, we've got to start off talking about TTV,
किधर है?
our North American Regional Championships,
किधर है?
winning
किधर
the
है?
offline event at North American International Championships. A team that has been together for a long time. I would say one of the most consistently together teams over the course of the past 2 years, and for very good reason. As
ये
they are a
बंदे
very
सब अकेले
solid
अकेले
team.
क्यों खेलते
Their
हैं यार?
draft strategy
फिर भी
in
मारते हैं.
particular really got
अकेले
to
अकेले खेल के भी
shine
भर देते
at
हैं.
NAIC, and I'm really excited to see if they're going to have some very creative, especially bans coming into this event.
Oh, I definitely think
और ये बंदे
TTV are
हाइपर वॉइस का बहुत ज़्यादा
definitely
यूज
one of
करते
the
हैं.
fan favorites, but one of the fan favorites from APAC West is Team MYS. Now, obviously, Rebongs and Yang, they have been here before. They did participate in London last year. I believe they did come
ये MYS में कौन है?
from Renaissance. So we'll just have to see what they bring to the table today and how they fare up with their new teammates.
Yeah, they're going to have to
अरे.
find some new coordination and
कोई
some
नहीं.
synergy, but another team that we are going to be talking about in this group is MJK, and I feel like we haven't been able to talk about Japan too much yet, but this is one of the fan favorite regions. Of course, we're playing on home turf, like you mentioned, Wonder Chef, but also the playstyle of
अपने
Japan
home
is
team
just
को तुम
so
ये कर दो.
different than that of some of the more western
साले
regions,
गंदे
so
बंदो.
something that we love to see. MJK
कास्टर
playing
भी देख रहा है क्या कर रहा है?
a very solid game of Pokemon Unite, playing a
सही
lot
बोल
of
रहा
early
है.
game dominant
हाँ,
Pokemon,
fan
talking
favorite
about
team है
Urshifu,
जापान
and
की.
their Umbreon play in particular looks world
डालो.
class, and that is a Pokemon I think is going to have a lot of
तुम्हारी
impact
टीम
on this
तुम्हारे
main
इधर ही
stage.
खेलेगी ना.
So we're talking about a team to really make
Obviously
some of
home
these
ground है.
newer Pokemon look good on the World Championship spot. I think it's going to be Team MJK.
I think all the Japanese teams are going to be very, very important to look at, regardless of where they place in seedings. We'll actually talk about that a little bit in the final group, but Team Peps, of course, the last of this group. One of my favorite teams currently in the entire world. They have so much momentum coming in from, of course, the European International Championships, where they were in the top two, very, very close. But they just seem like they have playing with so much confidence. I was talking to Dupe Snacks about it last night, actually, just how fun they feel to watch, because they feel like they just never, ever question anything. Like they just are 100% ready to go at all times. They never feel like, is this the right answer? Is it not? They just go. And they are so good at communicating that way. I feel like they may be one of the biggest sleeper teams, in my opinion, of this group.
Now, obviously, we have already gone through a lot of the teams today, but we are not finished just yet. We have to cover Group F. Now, on Group F from APAC East, we do have Oma Abyssinian.
Shivanov,
We do have from APAC
तो मत
West,
जाना
Uni
S8UL
Vesalon,
versus LG
and
का
another
फाड़ू.
NA team is
अरे
Team
तब तक तो मैं फेस कैम ऑन कर दूंगा. तुमको फुल लाइव रिएक्शन मिलेगी. 7 बजे तो सुबह हो जाएगी ना. अभी तो पूरी रात हो रखी है अंदर से रात वाला वाइब.
What they bring to the table, but Tempest, I absolutely love their
साला
tanking
लोग कितने
maneuvers
लोग ब्लास्ट
and
के
their
मेल्ट करने के
support
लिए यूज
that
करते
they
हैं ना. माँ
provide.
कसम.
Oh yeah, I think we are headed into a meta
क्या
game in this
मक्खन
tournament
चलता
that is
है.
going to be very defender focused. So if you have a
जितने
star
भी लोग
level
हैं,
tank player,
वो
I think
blasting,
like OMO
like,
Abyssinia
melt
does
करने
in
के लिए use
Tempest,
करते हैं.
I think you are going to be in a great spot. So they're positioned extremely well in this tournament, but they are not the only team that is really formidable in this group. I want to talk about you,
अरे लोग अभी आएगा लिए.
as well. This is a
S8UL
team
का
that
सबसे
also
पहला मैच
recently
है.
had a
सेकंड मैच
chain get
FS
picked up. They were
भंगी
kicked
लोगों
off,
को
but it was
थोड़ा
not
सा
gonna be
ये नहीं
finals.
मिला.
And
क्या
while
बोलते
they
हैं.
only got third place in their region, I don't think that was
वीजा नहीं
for
मिला
lack
भाई.
of talent. An extremely
वरना अपने
strong
chances
team.
तो बढ़ते.
However, it is an extremely competitive region. APAC, I think, has been really the story on the streets these days. I mean, there are a lot of rumors about APAC East and West about how powerful they are, and UD
इसके बाद
Vesalon
S8UL
is
का
definitely
S8UL का
a part
दिखाएंगे.
of that. They're large, they're in charge, and
भाई
they're going to be
सटोल.
trying to make this group definitely their own.
Well, exactly like you said, I think there are a lot of teams that, despite the fact that they may not be the first or even second seed within their own regions, they are very, very strong. And all that matters is how will you do today. That's the biggest thing. Well, today and tomorrow. This weekend, I should say. And I think another team that really encapsulates that is Team YT. They have had the most explosive results that we've seen. Of course, they did
Team
barely
YT क्या है? Team YouTube.
qualify in a very, very tough region, but they were able to show that they could take
नाम
down
funny है.
literally the best of that region, just
एक
not
GTV
consistently
रखता है,
throughout the entire
Twitch TV,
season.
एक YouTube
But like I
रखता है.
said, all that matters is what happens this weekend, and I feel like they've just been riding their momentum more and more. Again, an extremely fun team to watch. They can always just they're always bringing their comfort picks. They're flexing to some interesting stuff. And of course, you can see the Buzzwole right there. Really, I don't want to say putting it on the map, but one of the teams that really most strongly put it on the map competitively. So I am always going to be a big Team YT fan, and you know they're going to be bringing some fun stuff.
Look, something I'm excited for, obviously we can see this previous gameplay here and all the Pokemon that they play, but what new tricks do they have up their sleeve? That is what I am most excited to see
SAIUL दिखाओ
from
भाई,
these
हमको
teams.
SAIUL
Oh
देखना
my
है.
goodness, I'm right there with
Time
you.
हो
Team
गया.
YouTube, their
SAIUL.
uncharacteristic picks are very exciting, but they're a lot of fun. Now we are going to be transitioning next to Group
Yes,
G.
right.
S8UL
ये तो
esports from
proper
India,
है
Time
एकदम.
to Shine
S8UL,
from
Time to
EU,
Shine,
and
Luminosity.
from North America. That's right, we're in this group with
S8UL क्यों रहा? इन लोगों को इतना zoom करके दिखा रहे हैं, सालों का नाम देख कैसे दिख रहा है?
Is S8UL esports, the team from India, a region that definitely didn't have the performance they wanted last year at World Championships, looking to make a bit of a change. And the player you see on your screen right now, All Might,
SAIUL,
I
All
think is going to be
Might.
the focus for this team. A player that has got worldwide recognition. A lot of people, when looking at this team, definitely
Oh,
call
bhai.
this out as the player to watch, the kind of cornerstone of this team. And if S8UL esports is going to have a big successful run,
अबे
I think
IGL
a
से
lot
लोग
of
डर
that,
रहे
a large
हैं.
part of that is going to come from All Might's leadership on stage.
जोड़ हो गया.
And based on the name, I'm assuming somebody that's going to be very happy to be in
ऐसा IGL
Japan
बोलो
here
बनो कि
playing,
चार
but,
लोग तुमसे डरे.
Of course, past that, there is Time to Shine coming out of
हमारे
Europe.
अटैकर
I do
छोड़
have
के
to say,
चार
Time
लोग
to Shine,
तुमसे
of
डरे.
course,
तुम
being
ब्लास्ट
the
खेलो
previous
कुछ भी खेलो.
qualifier, but not having maybe the most consistent season this time around. So they didn't really have a chance to shine in this current UCS season, but we know exactly how strong they are. So I kind of feel like this is their opportunity to have locked their team together, which is a big part, and just their strategies together, where it feels like they've been shifting so much, and sometimes, a lot of the time, been forced to shift over this current season, but now they've been together for a few months, they've been practicing for Worlds together, this might be their time to shine.
Look, talking about shining, we have to talk about the world champions from last year, Luminosity. Obviously,
ना?
they took home that trophy. Will they be able to double
और
it
इनका ही
up?
स्लो सोल के साथ है
obviously,
7 बजे मैच.
Luminosity, they are well known to us.
यार,
Overlord,
जापान
I know
वाले
last
भी
year they played,
हरकतें करनी
quite
है.
incredible
अच्छा Hiroshima.
Aegis Slash. So, Lord of the Sword, will we get to see
साला.
that today? I don't know. But obviously,
ऐसे
all
गंदी
of
गंदी
these
चीजें
players
करते
that
हैं.
we do
जैसे
have on these teams are very
उसी
high
टीम के
caliber.
साथ करो
They
ना,
have been
मतलब
practicing, they
जिनको
have been scrimming,
कुछ
so we're
फर्क
going
पड़ेगा
to
नहीं.
have to wait and see what they bring today.
Oh, I can't
ऐसे
wait
टोली
to
के
watch
साथ ही करना
Luminosity
लगेगा.
on the main stage. I mean, their season has definitely been an interesting one. A lot of highs, a lot of lows. However, when they're coming into the World Championships, they're coming in that second spot, second at regionals after a very impressive performance. And honestly, Overlord looks really in form. Whenever
Overlord का ही
can,
team है ये.
be run and be really successful, it's
That's
always
right.
on the back of this star level player really popping off. And you
कितने
can
like हुए?
see
10 like
every
complete हो गए?
replay. Honestly, we should just call it
Chat?
an LG replay, just an Overlord replay, because every single time it's 3-4 KOs.
10 like complete हो गए क्या?
Game-changing moments like that, and obviously putting a lot of resources towards that player, throwing a Comfey there for support, which honestly, I don't know how much Comfey we're going to see, but North America really like that play of just putting a lot of resources on one carry player and letting them take over.
Yeah,
अबे.
and honestly, I'm going to talk about this a lot. We're all going to talk about this a lot throughout the
Carry player.
weekend, but having this offline
Overlord
experience
भाई.
on these very pressure-intensive stages is going to be one of the most important experiences to have coming into this tournament. All the play in the world means nothing if you just end up not being able to follow through. So that's
ये
one
बंदा
team,
Indian
but
है.
we can move on to our final group, Group H, which is, I mean, this is a great way to close it out. Entity 7 from Latin America North, Kumu, formerly known as Old Guys from APAC East, and then Oyasumi Macro from Japan, which is for three-player team group. This is, I mean, it's great right now. But of course, we can start off by talking about Entity 7. And I know that Zoinks, you and I have put a lot of value into this team. They have been really grinding. They have been leading their region, of course, but they're looking really, really solid. Of course, we've got a chance to see them play against some of the North American teams in some grassroots tournaments. They did very, very well. But just in general, I said it before, I said it again, I feel like this region is just going to have a great weekend.
Look, one team that I have my eye on is Kumu. They are a bunch of old guys, and it just shows that Pokemon is good for all different ages. So, obviously, we do have Thorfinn on there. They have played some quite incredible
Match
attack
चालू करो
roles.
भाई,
I'm
बस
excited to
देख
see
लिया।
whether they bring Chandelure on the stage today.
समझ में आ रहा है बहुत ज़्यादा प्लेयर्स
I'm
तुम्हारी
excited
टीम
for Oyasumi Macro as well, though. I mean, obviously having a
आगे
recent
बोलो ना
change
भाई।
into this group is a bit of a wrench in the mix. However, Oyasumi Macro, I think, collectively known, is one of the strongest Japanese teams that we have ever seen in the history of Pokemon Unite. Yes, they may have got fourth in their regional championships, but for them to still have that credit thrown at them from the community, I think says a lot. This team is going to be so good, and of course, they have the star player from last year, Mame, on this squad, and I can't wait to see him in year 2 as well. It's going to be a great game, and obviously, it's going to bring us to the end of our groups. Finally, after a marathon of all of these teams, and we get to watch all of them play today on stage. It's going to be amazing. I cannot wait. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Any thoughts here on groups, Jeff?
I don't know. I mean, I think this is going to be the most kind of up in the air that we've ever seen at an event, because there's been more times since this Worlds where the meta has shifted than any other event. We've seen every region really change up their style, especially this year with the addition of draft. It is just all completely different. We could have literally any team from any region pop out and kind of solve the meta. I don't know if there's actually a solve, but find that one little weird thing that's just going to throw everybody else off and win the weekend. So it's completely up in the air to me.
It's going to be great. Kello, any thoughts on groups before we jump into our first game?
Look, as you said, there are so many groups, but obviously only one of each team can come out of those groups. So who is going to be able to face up that chopping block and survive?
Yeah, good point. It's going to be OC all the time, right? All right, and she didn't say that for real, though. We are going to be jumping into our first game very shortly. So, Kello, I'm sorry, we're going to say goodbye for right now, but don't worry, everyone. Kello is going to be breaking down the games all day long. All weekend, we have an incredible tournament to find our champion. I cannot wait. Kello, we'll see you very soon.
Thank you.
Now we are going to be talking about our first game of the day. It is going to be TTV versus MJK on that main stage. I cannot wait. It's going to be a whole lot of fun.
Let's go. Lutano की match है पहले. अरे लुटानो का match
this first match?
I am honestly so excited that the very first thing that we get is the chance to see teams from kind of really opposite regions. Right? We're going to see teams from the east of Japan, of course, and then teams from all the way in the west in North America. This is one of the full, I would say, regional matchups that I'm most excited for. And of course, we can start off talking about TTV, like I mentioned just very recently, champions from the North American International Championship. And can we talk about, for the first time of the day, those jerseys, man?
Unreal. Definitely the drip has leveled up a whole lot for season 2.
ये गुलाब जामुन का क्या सीन हो गया?
With the jersey accents, it looks amazing. And of course, TTV sporting them looking very,
गुलाब जामुन के हालात देख लो भाई.
I can't wait. I mean, great season from TTV, and here they are on stage. Some brand representation from Inder on the stage. I love it. Of course,
हमें
an
dieting करनी
amazing
नहीं है.
support player in their own right. A really solid captain of this team too.
Team
I mean,
पे
a
fat
lot
से
of
दिखाएंगे.
leadership figures on TTV, but Inder has been leading the squad for quite some time. They are not alone there on stage, though. We got Team MJK from Japan on stage as well. It's going to be a great matchup. Of course, I'm so excited to see Japan versus TTV in particular. Japan, one of those early game team fight composition teams that I talked about before. MJK really showcasing that. But TTV, one of those teams that's not afraid to play late game scaling Pokemon. Like that Venusaur, even the Goodra we've seen from time to time. So some dedication towards that late game versus that early game team fight focus from MJK is going to be very, very interesting in our first game.
I agree. This is going to be, I mean, it's so cool. I feel like that usually we get to talk so much about like what we've seen from experience from teams playing against each other, but this is the first one of the day, and this is already the first one where it's like we've seen the styles from each different team, but what's it going to be when they actually clash? And there's no better way to figure it out than starting off the first game of the day, and we're going to get into the draft. For everybody's not familiar, it is one ban per team. This is very different from the previous year of Worlds, and you can see the bans looking like it's going to be
ban हो दोनों डिफेंडर बैन हो गए.
And the other side is going to be Lapras, and that's going to be first pick on the left side team, then 2 for the right side team.
That big call out already. I was talking about how I think
Umbreon और Lapras
was what really set them apart in a
Umbreon तो फिर भी ठीक है. Lapras मेरे को लग रहा है अल्ट को काउंटर करने के लिए थोड़ा सा अल्ट उसका लास्ट में के मारेगा ना.
Strong in recent practice, and what is MJK going to try to bring to the forefront against it? A first pick blastoise is no surprise, and we have ZEUSAlpha here on our stream for the first time this year.
Oh, that's very interesting, actually. Surprisingly, of course, ZEUSAlpha doing very, very well in the entire season in rank, for example. But a lot of teams have actually not valued it super highly. So to see it as the first pick,
ZEUSAlpha Comfy खेलने वाले हैं. माँ कसम, रमेश सुरेश. अबे रमेश सुरेश गेमिंग ब्रो. गुड मॉर्निंग, मैं स्कूल जा रहा. अच्छा, जाओ जाओ भाई जाओ, मजे करो. तुमको WCS देखने नहीं मिलेगा. क्या बोलूँ मैं? जो स्कूल नहीं जाते उनके फायदे. अच्छा, लाइक करना मत भूलना, फटाफट लाइक करो. जस्ट लाइक अ वीडियो. इन लोग को दिक्कत होगी भाई, वो ZEUSAlpha ना उसको पटक देगा भाई. सेलेस्ट पटक देगा. ऑल्टर भी अगर साइशॉक खेल रहा है फिर तो खत्म है भाई इनका गेम.
So good. It's going to be really good if they do end up going the spin source. Of course, they could
आप पिटेंगे भाई.
but also the unstoppable ability of the ZEUSAlpha. You can just dunk it. You can take out two members at once. If everybody jumps on it once with the burst damage of this team, I think it's very, very possible. So I think this is an excellent, excellent pick. Not one that I've seen as much from TTV, but of course we're not the only ones here today. Let's send it over to our casters, Spraggles and Dupe Snacks, to take away game number 1.
Here we are, Dupe Snacks, Yokohama, Japan, for the first game of our Pokemon Unite World Championships. Let's freaking go! Woo-wee, Spraggles! I am so excited. We found our way to Japan. I ran here. I don't know if you saw that. I ran the entire way, straight up.
इसके बाद शायद से अपना मैच है. ये 6:15 को शायद से शेड्यूल के हिसाब से अपना मैच था.
Today, and I am ready to go. So are these teams, and we got ZEUSAlpha in the mix for the first opportunity to get locked in immediately.
शायद से इसके बाद.
You can see the crowd is pumped. We got Let's
Go
TTV out there in the stands as we start our game number 1. TTV from North America, your purple team. MJK from Japan, your orange team. Woo! Yeehaw to you and yours. Let's get this thing started. Inteleon heading into that central area for the side of TTV. It's the first time we're seeing Inteleon inside of a tournament. This is the first time we're seeing ZEUSAlpha inside of a tournament with a North American team playing. So this is going to be really wild. Sage of just ways that ZEUSAlpha was released, Comfy on top of it. Right as it was released, that was kind of the go-to combo, and we're seeing it here live on the world stage. In front of it, though, a Hoopa and a Buzzwole looking to scrap her.
ZEUSAlpha ने भी नर्फ के हिसाब से यार ये लोग जो अगर ये कर रहे हैं ना, ZEUSAlpha Comfy खेलने वाला है ना. अच्छा खेलने वाला प्लेयर है फिर तो भाई वो कुत्ता बना के मारेगा.
These group stages are brutal.
Only one
team moving forward from each group. So every single game counts so much as we see her Shifu down here in the bottom path preparing for these 850 birds. There it is, and they're going in.
लेकिन स्लो ब्रो बढ़िया काउंटर है.
एक नंबर. Back and forth, taking a good crop of that for MJK. So I mean, they're doing good on the experience.
पाँच खोल ले भाई
TTV keeping up though, not doing too bad themselves.
पिटेगा भाई वो बंदा पाँच का घूम रहा है ऑलरेडी.
We see MJK heading up to this top path where you're sneaking in with the Rishifu,
पाँच
looking to
खोलना.
pick something up, but no.
चार का अटका है देख, पाँच नहीं खोलना. अरे पाँच खोलना. सब अच्छे खेलने वाले हैं क्या? हाँ, लेकिन यहाँ पे भी ZEUSAlpha Comfy चल रहा है. रमेश सुरेश गेमिंग इधर भी कर रहे हैं लोग. ZEUSAlpha का पाँच खुल गया ना. ZEUSAlpha को पाँच किसके लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है बताए? S8UL और लोग को मारने के लिए. बजबोल को. बजबोल लेकिन भर देगा.
Moving on in to secure a lot of that. We got the snipe shot there from Inteleon. Massive amounts of damage coming out from the side of TTV. You can tell they got the infrared glasses on.
टूर्नामेंट है जो मन वो ले सकते हैं. ना कुछ टूर्नामेंट बैन होते हैं. भाई वो टिचकी दे रहा है माँ कसम. लुटानो भाई मेरा फेवरेट प्लेयर है भाई ओवरलॉर्ड के बाद.
into the hands of
वो
TTV.
खींच के दे रहा है भाई लोगों को
TTV right here.
उसका नौ खुलने वाला है
builds that are amazing on Inteleon. A lot of players choosing liquidation, but as we can see, I mean, Lutano, an absolute sniper for the side of TTV.
ऐसे एम करने वाले मूव्स इसके ऊपर वन शॉट सीधे खत्म भाई माँ कसम एक और को टिच के दिया
Yeah, Otter peeling back. They're low on HP, but there's no
अबे
commitment out
बच
of
गया
MJK to try and get that KO. And listen, we've got Slowbro here, who's kind of the Zacian art
अरे
counter. Once it gets slow beam, it's going to be there.
लूटाना
But
बहुत गंदा
Slowbro
मार
knows
रहा
how to
है
get spacing for this team.
गुड मॉर्निंग
And
ब्रो
the
गुड
fact
मॉर्निंग
that,
गुड मॉर्निंग
well, the rest of the team's already working on Reg Ice.
भाई
That spacing is
लूटानो
going to
अरे
happen in
माँ
the
को
form of Scald on top of the Mew. Busadauto hits Slowbro. Doesn't matter. Nice
ये
little
भीड़
pop shot on the Phantom Force on the
अरे
Zacian.
जॉड हो गया लूटानो भाई
Nice
कर
unite
दिया
by the Espeon.
कर दिया
Zacian down again.
लूटानो चलने वाला है ये टूर्नामेंट मजाक से हट के
Lutano says welcome to the Guac
लूटानो
Bowl.
गंदा तोड़ रहा है फिर से वन शॉट कर दिया उसको
Doesn't even matter. Coffee's getting stitched up. KO streak at 3 at the
वो
gate.
भर देगा लास्ट वाले को भी
Otter gets themselves one on
अब
Wendy's 4 for 4 out of the gate. Spraggles TTV is playing motivated. Regional finals
अरे
energy.
माँ कसम भाई
KO out of the gate. Come on. That the whole team goes down. MJK's got to be one. Who is this man? Where did he come from? And then why is he stomping on our
पागल है क्या वो क्या वन शॉट कर रहे हैं लोग उनको
Incredible stuff here from the
अरे
North
भाई,
America
क्या क्रिकेट खेल रहा है वो
champions TTV to start this thing out. Obviously, MJK is
F
not out of
भाई
this fight at all. They have so many
सीरियसली
options to come back inside this
जेशन
game.
काउंटर
But
के
what a
लिए वन
commanding
शॉट अरे वो
lead to
बंदा
start
लिटरली
our
उसका
World
एम क्या प्यारा है
Championship from TTV.
सीधे खींच रहा है भाई वो
Massive
बंदे
snipeshot
को
right there. Unfortunately, misses that War Turtle.
लेकिन उसको
And for the
मारने के
side
लिए भी
of
बहुत
MJK,
सारे
they
बंदे
really
हैं
need to funnel some experience over to War Turtle. Still sitting at
गंदा
level
तोड़ रहा है
8.
वो
Not yet a Blastoise. Has no Unite move for the team.
Surfs through, comes through, tries to buy some spacing so MJK can literally get any objective off the map. Buzzball Unite comes
अरे
out,
नहीं
and of course
नहीं ले
takes
पाएंगे
out
नहीं ले
Urshifu.
पाएंगे नहीं ले
They're just
पाएंगे
converting on every
नहीं
engagement
ले
that they've
पाएंगे
got. War Turtle seals up Reggie Alecki, but I don't think TTV
खींच
cares.
अरे
Spriggles.
बहुत और
They're looking to take some
इसके
bodies
एचपी
because
कितने
they know they've got the experience lead. And talking about taking one.
यार लूटानो वही बंदा है जो लास्ट में जब क्वालिफायर थे ना वीनस और से क्यूफाई कर गया था ये बंदा
Right now, TTV dominant in all these fights. However,
इसका हर बार गए
positioning from MJK in that fight
गरम
on top
प्लेयर है
of
बहुत
Reggie Alecki. You can see them
अभी के
position
टाइम
themselves in front of Reggie Alecki, so the snipe shots from that Inteleon could not make it in and secure it. Even though MJK is still
और ये लोग फोन पे खेलने वाले लोग हैं
down, only 8 score compared to
MJK ना
157
फोन
of
पे खेलने वाले लोग
TTV.
हैं
As we now get ready for this bottom objective, Inder here in the bottom path, ready to bring the team down Avengers style with that Unite.
Yeah, and it's
और
only
ये
going to
बंदा
get tougher
जेशन लेके
for
पिटता
MJK
है
to take engagements here because
शर्म ही
that
नहीं
Slowbro has a slow beam, and that's a great engagement. We're going rings unbound, and we're trying to protect this goal zone. We're throwing the fists out to stun him down. Where's the team follow-up? Nice skull back the other way. This is leaving this
heavy
Reg
है
steal all
अरे
alone for
नाइस
MJK. Great secure for them. They're getting experience.
सिक्योर
But the
बढ़िया है
fight rages on as really all TTV wants
लेकिन
to do is
लूटाना
isolate
तोड़
this
रहा
goal
है
zone. Nice little
एक
stun.
और
They take out the Mew, which means
खींच
the Comfy can come for
बच
free.
गया
Hops right on time, and Zacian, who is out like a thief in the night.
Once again, MJK, you know, with some
बंदे उठे कि
excellent
नहीं
positioning in that fight. They were not able to win
भाई
on
मैच
a
वैच
KO
देखने का ही कि
perspective,
नहीं
but they kept
इतना
themselves in
इम्पोर्टेंट
front of
मैच
the
है
objective, ripped it down to make sure that TTV
क्या
could
हो
not
भाई
get it.
कौन मैच
Still,
नहीं देख रहा है
TTV in a commanding lead here. If you take a look at levels, though, they are starting to even up across the board here, especially after securing that last objective. MJK still very much in this, but behind on score. They're going to want to put some points on the board before Rayquaza hits in about a minute and 45 here, Dude Snacks.
You can see what TTV has put together. A very front-to-back, buy some time, line up some snipe shots, get big KOs for Lutano. On the other hand, MJK is just taking individually powerful Pokemon that leverage certain things
इनका थोड़ा
and
सा
trying to
लेट
use
गेम
that
अच्छा है
collective power to get some wins here.
देख
Buzzwole
सकते
poaches it up, puts it on the backside, forces out the Urshifu Unite. Hydro
बढ़िया
Typhoon comes out, that's 2 players down for
अब एक
TTV.
लास्ट हेड बचेगी
MJK's finding the
उसको
flow,
मारने
they're
के
trying to
लिए
get outer. They grass knot him down, but they blink out in time. And there's the KO
मरेगा लुटानो मरेगा
from the Inteleon on the
अरे
Blastoise.
माँ
Back the
कसम
other way, the
क्रॉस
Urshifu keeps
नॉट
the push. Comfy Unite comes out to keep those 2 players standing, but the siege on the goal zone is fairly successful as they're finally able to get more points in.
Yeah, really nice stuff here from MJK, and they are coming back
अरे
into this game. That Comfy bouncing around perfectly inside of that
इंडिया के
engagement,
मैचेस इसके
making
बाद
sure
है
that Urshifu could
इसके
survive
बाद इंडिया
long
का
enough
मैच
to
एक्चुअली
pick up
इंडिया का
some
मैच
big
6:15 को होना
KOs.
था
TTV still
बट
up on this thing.
अभी इनका मैच चालू है इसके
136
नेक्स्ट अपना
points
मैच होगा
separate these teams.
पता
As
मेरे
I
को लग
talk
रहा
about a lot, Noob Snacks, I feel like 100 points is a huge difference maker moving into the final moments. If you're up by over 100 points, it really puts the pressure on your opponents to do something big at Rayquaza because they can't just peel off and make one score happen.
Yeah, because the
ZEUSAlpha का मैच पता है है 7 बजे वाले टाइम पे ना 7 o'clock something around 7:30 Luminosity की तरफ Overlord के सामने
just to give themselves a different problem to have to deal with on the
Overlord
side of
versus
MJK.
Now MJK actually in a decent position to do something at this bottom, Reggie, but
I
it
hope
looks like
India
they're
कुछ
getting
करे
ready for this fight, and
ये
they may
tournament
be
में
looking for a pickoff here of a member of TTV as they're positioning themselves already at Rayquaza. 10 seconds
2-0
now
ना हो
until
गया
the
भाई
first Rayquaza of our World Championships. TTV in a commanding lead
Secure
currently
बढ़िया है
as they set
इसके पास
themselves up around this pit,
बताना के बाद
watching their top goal zone. MJK looking to
मटका
move in on Rayquaza right now, hitting it with some damage here, but
मटका कर
they're
रहे
not
पोक कर
starting
रहे
this fight. The snipe shots move out, and everyone is patiently waiting to see
boosted
how
charge
this is
कर रहा है
going to
हो
kick
जाके
off. No one wants to make a mistake right here as a massive snipe shot chips up this Blastoise.
मैं
More
कुछ की नहीं देख
snipe shots following in here from Inteleon. Rayquaza still being hit right here, but no one actually taking this. And this is great for TTV because obviously MJK is the one who needs to make a play right here. They need to make something happen. TTV actually peeling back right now to continue
बंदा
getting
grass
some
not खेल
experience here, Doomsnacks, as it looks like they're moving forward.
They go in big
भर
time
दिया
serve,
भर
tries to
दिया
go
भर
for the
दिया
engage. Zashin's there for the
भर
follow.
दिया
Takes
shit
throw and Hydro Typhoon's trying
अब
to buy
लग
some
गया
time, and it buys some KOs. Two of
सब
them
बंदे
there.
अलग
He's
अलग
going for the follow. Zashin gets the 3 players down for TTV. They're going in. The Urshifu United is actually flipping the
सब
script on
अलग
top of
अलग
the
घूम रहे
Rayquaza.
मटका
Lutano's
हो रहा
hanging
है
out in the back. They're going to have to make a prayer play as the rings are unbound. The Hoopa is
Lutano
unbound.
पे
It's nowhere in sight. This thing's
ले
getting low.
secure
Snipe shot line up.
अरे
MJK takes it. They're down by a ton, but they got those Hundo burgers on the menu. They just
मटका
got to get
करके
that
जीते
thing in.
भाई
Zashin's buying some time. They're going to put some points in, and all of a sudden MJK says that might have been a penta KO on your side, but we
लुटानो
win it on the
सिक्योर के लिए
scoreboard,
बैठा था
baby. Let's
भाई
get it.
क्या
MJK
बचा है
raining points in right now, but it's still not over.
जिन्हें बढ़िया
327
सिक्योर पे
256 is more points rated
देखता
for
है
MJK. They are putting them into the main
अब
goal
लग
right
गया
here, and this they're taking a KO on
कंफी
Lutano.
तो भाई
Inteleon
उर्शिबू
goes
को
down right here, and this Urshifu is just cleaning
अनबीटेबल
it up
बनाएगा
right
मर ही
here
जाएगा
in these final moments.
ये मर जाएगा बस
256, 403, and they pick up a triple
तीसरा गया
KO.
You've heard of Lutano. How about Luca? We're going in, baby, and they're trying to find another one. The Comfy is just riding this Urshifu till the brakes fall off. But until then, it's TTV's brakes that are falling off. 4 players down, just Otter stands, and there's more points going in. Group E, kicking this thing
अरे
off.
खत्म
MJK
है
looking
सरेंडर कर दो भाई
That's right, MJK from Japan.
एक और बढ़ गया गोल
Game number 1 here against the North American Regional Champs, TTV. Beautiful final fight there. Incredible stuff from MJK.
यही तो देखना था मेरे को बस यही देखना था
What a start
इसमें
to our
अरे
series.
ये क्या दिखा दिया
Man, are you serious? I mean, TTV comes out of the gates, could not have asked for
Cameraman को
anything
इज्जत
more
है
out of a big-time player like Lutano. Gets a KO, streak of 5 right out of the rip, and then MJK plays, stays in the pocket, doesn't get flustered, and look at that, turn the tables on it.
Amazing stuff right here. Obviously, TTV in a commanding position through most of that engagement, but MJK with a massive fight here at the end of it. I can't wait to hear what our analysts think about this. Let's send this thing over here to Zoinks and Wonder Chef to break it all down. Gentlemen.
What a way to start our tournament. An exciting game between these two. TTV had that early game on lock, and then MJK come back with a major swing. Wonder Chef, that was a really fun game to watch. I mean, stats-wise, looking good on both sides. I mean, that late-game swing really helping MJK's knockout numbers.
Oh, yeah.
मटका में बहुत काम है
We were watching from the stands, and it felt like this was a wrap at the even like 4-minute into the game mark, the 6-minute mark in game, but it was just so dominant from TTV. I cannot believe that MJK had such an incredible comeback, not just as far as, of course, securing that final Rayquaza, but just as far as actual strength of their team. And one of the coolest things I got to point out early on was that we got to hear so many of the Japanese fans actually cheering for MJK to make the comeback. And then, hey, guess what happened? That's the kind of level, power-up that you need.
Yeah, that home crowd advantage helping. And honestly, I
वो
think
नहीं ले पाता
MJK
वैसे
showing
ऐसे
why
कैसे
they are here on this
अरे
championship
इंटेलियन है
stage
वो
because of how they
इंटेलियन तो
played
छोड़ो
their
लुटानो है
competition
वो
in that final team fight. TTV had almost
उसका
no engaged tools whatsoever.
ये
Slow
बढ़िया
roll
है
maybe, but that's getting you just a couple of meters.
अरे ना
to
लास्ट
yourself.
के वो लोग कितने
And
पता
other
है
than that,
अराउंड
Buzzwole, but
2
you're
मिनट
such
में
at
जीते
risk for getting
2 भी
slammed
नहीं
by
1 मिनट
Zation
में
or
जीते
Urshifu. MJK gets positioning early and just creates a tough
1 मिनट में हम
wall.
लोगों ने
The poke
रिक्वाजा ले
damage is
लिया
there
ना
for TTV, but the actual getting the bodies in
कमबैक
there, a little
भाई
bit
मारा है
tough.
मारा है
Let's take
अच्छा
a look
मारा है
at the actual numbers though, because that's
रिक्वाजा
our
को नहीं
specialty. A lot of
बंदा
damage on
रिक्वाजा
this
के
screen.
आगे खड़ा था लगता तो
91,000
उसे
damage for Lucapo.
Oh my gosh,
अरे
that has
माँ
to be the name
कसम
of the
भाई
game. The Zacian,
22,000
it
भाई
was shut down pretty strongly early, and I think that's a big reason
अबे
why
कंफी का
it
उसके ज्यादा
looks so
डैमेज है
tough
भाई
for MJK, but
अरे
the
डैमेज
couple
क्यों दिखा
just
रहे हो
all
बच्चे उसका
together
इज्जत का कचरा हो
looking,
जाएगा
so incredibly strong consistently
छी
throughout the
बे
game, and that's why we
कंफी
got
से
a
कम
chance to see
डैमेज
them
है
make that comeback. But here we can take a look at the highlights from that first match.
कंफी ने
What a way to
23,000
start
दिए
things off with a huge turnaround.
Yeah, TTV kind of surprising me with this Inteleon central area pick, but obviously the value was here at the start. A Reggie Ice secure, and after that it was secure in the rest of MJK.
लुटानो पता है
up 2 in this first initial
स्टार्ट में बढ़िया खेल
engagement.
रहा था लास्ट में लोग अलग अलग हो गए
A Penza KO in our first game of Worlds? Are you kidding me, Chef?
A Penta KO at the 7-minute mark, and then that team doesn't win the game.
डेफ खाया लोग
This is, seriously, I'm sorry, I'm just so blown away.
तो लुटानो
Like,
टारगेट
this is a
वो
taste of
एम
what we're
करने
gonna be experiencing
में
this
दिक्कत हो गया
entire weekend, and the game is just never over. That is such
एक
a
तो
great
बेटी
thing
है
about how
इंटीरियर
this
का
game has kind of turned out in a meta
एम
direction. You
करना
can see
टफ है
here, this was a little bit of an aggressive push that did manage to help kind of, I don't want to say start
गिरे
the
गिरे
turnaround,
सारे
but
बंदे
yeah,
अलग हो
here,
गए
right here, this was everything. The
एसपीओन अलग घूम रहा है वो अलग घूम रहा है
Surf Blastoise just pushing everybody all the way to that edge on that rock.
इधर गलती हो गया
Love when all those enemies are just grouped up together in small little areas. They can completely shut that down. Unfortunately, Tano not able to base there, and the shutdown just swings the other direction. I mean, that Rayquaza secure was huge, but the follow-up gameplay from MJK to seal the deal was definitely on point.
Yeah, I just got to point out that I love their draft choices overall, where, of course, the Comfey on the Zacian is a very, very strong pick. But that wasn't their only chance. We actually had a ton of great Comfey targets, and I think that's one thing that a lot of teams make mistakes with, was that they will depend on this Comfey is sitting on this Pokemon, and that is all that's going to happen, and they are going to win the game. And then that one Pokemon gets shut down, and you're like, well, that's GG, unfortunately. But, I mean, there was, of course, the ability to flex over to the Urshifu, which worked really well. You can see sneaky out there in the crowd. There's the ability to even shift onto the Blastoise to be very effective, so I love the way that they made their team. But let's see if there's any differences this time around.
Wow, okay, game number 2, of course, the draft sides are going to swap up. Let's see if TTV wants to stick with that Umbreon ban like they did last time. It looks like we're having a bit of a split decision, but MJK with a bold decision to ban away the Leafeon, which has been extremely popular, but it's probably a Leafeon ban to grab
चलो देखते कितने 10 lakhs complete हो गए क्या
they want to steal and make sure they have a good
No.
lead there.
Well, I wonder if it's going to be their first pick. There are so many Pokemon available, more than we've ever seen. Wow, first pick Zacian. Even though the Zacian didn't really pop off in the
शर्म ही
last
नहीं है
game,
बंदों
you
को
can just tell already how
साले
highly they
Zacian का है
value that. And on the other side, looks like we are going to be stealing an Urshifu away from MJK. I think it's a great choice, of course. There's extremely strong Urshifu players on the side of TTV and the Umbreon.
Wow, yeah, so Zugrun taking away that Umbreon is giving MJK a chance for the slow grow, but they're not going to grab it. Instead, grabbing Inteleon and Trevenant. So Trevenant obviously having a whole lot of kind of stunning abilities. Hornleech and Woodhammer is something that the Zacian can really pop off with, as well as an Inteleon if they do want to go with that snipe shot style of gameplay. Are they going to stick with the Espeon in that bottom path, and they're going to grab that Blissey. So no Comfey for that individual support, but the Bliss assistance on an Urshifu who's diving all the way into the enemy zone is an amazing combination.
Now, I do see we're highlighting Eldegoss, but I was going to say I would be very surprised if we didn't see Comfey on the side of MJK once again. Oh, okay, well, I am surprised. Count me as surprised. But another surprise is if we're actually going to see the Scizor pick, most likely a Scyther, I'd have to say. But hey, you never really know exactly how people are going to run this, especially currently. There's going to be a lot of surprises today. And oh, Lutano going over the Venusaur that we saw so much in NAIC. So many hero plays. It's like, you know what? If I'm not going to get snipe shot with Inteleon, I'm going to be able to snipe you a different way.
There we go. Yeah, Lutano has had hero play on this Venusaur, and they're going to have Indra's support back up there.
क्वालीफायर में KO5 कर दिया था
I
उसने
do think a lot of TTV's composition is going to come down to Zugrug and their Umbreon play. Can they capitalize on these engagements with the mean look if they go that way, or is Zugrug going to be able to brawl for infinity? It's going to be a tough decision. The question mark on the other side, though, is this Scyther Scizor. Since we're running that Razor Claw, I'm tending to believe this could be the Scyther, but honestly, this item loadout, it could go either direction. So
yeah, it's surprises all day for sure. I would love to see the Scyther, but I'm expecting the Scyther as well. And now it's time to see how MJK plays Inteleon as we move into game number 2 of the set. And we send it back to the casters.
Here we are, game number 2, Doom Snacks. Obviously, we're seeing this Zacian come back out for the side of MJK.
वो लड़की कौन है जो
Didn't
कास्ट
really
कर रही
get
है
to you know, explode in that first match right there. So I'm interested to see why they're bringing it here into game number 2.
I think it's because it perennially offers up a challenge, right? Like, it's something that TTV has to frontline deal with, because it may not have had the best game 1, but it certainly was causing static and problems that needed to be handled. That's where I'm looking. However, I'm immediately seeing ZEUSAlpha on Umbreon. I'm seeing Lutano on the Venusaur. And what we can do is we can lock down a player into a ring of, just a ring of sunlight, and absolutely beam them down, and I expect to see that quite a bit here in game 2.
I wasn't going to interrupt you, but we just saw Dodrio with 3 separate hats, which I think is a huge, huge deal to have here on broadcast. And yeah, the question is, what kind of Pokemon do we see here from the side of MJK? Is that going to be a Scissor? Is that going to be a Scyther? I think, given the item loadout, as they talked about, having that energy amplifier, it feels like they have
Lutano और उसकी टीम के लिए लास्ट मैच है.
into that backline, take down that Espeon, take down that Venusaur, so there's nothing that they are able to do to stop them here in some of these big fights. ZEUSAlpha really deep right here on the side of MJK.
But what's that done? It's bought a ton of time for that Espeon to come online already for TTV. And the fact that they made it out is even more impressive here. That's just icing on top of the cake, and that's exactly what ZEUSAlpha was hoping to get, and they delivered. So a decent early start despite the lack of action for TTV.
And let me tell you, I always put icing on a cake. Never have an uniced cake.
You don't like dry cake?
I'm telling you, you got to go with this icing, buddies. We get ready for
I'm gonna look into it.
We get ready for the birds here at the 850 mark right here. We can see the evolution. We have the Dark Bear single striker Shifu. A lot of that picked up from the side of TTV, but also a good amount here for MJK, as now that Zacian's level 5 missing with that empowered Sacred Sword.
Yeah, Zacian's still trying to bully a little bit, but now that the Wicked Blow Urshifu is online, they can put the pressure back. That's something that we've really seen. The west side of the planet loving the Wicked Blow version of Urshifu. East side of the planet loving the Rapid Strike, and we're seeing that both flavors already today.
We're gonna have to see if it's a West Side story here in game number 2. Come on, I made it happen. We got there. We do have ourselves a Scyther, by the way. That's level 6, so it has not went over to the side of Scissor. That's gonna be important for MJK so they can dive in and pick up some big KOs. This is Woodhammer almost takes out Shifu, and there comes the Zacian to pick up the KO.
Overextended and calculated aggressiveness back the other way by MJK seals up a great KO on top of the Urshifu, sending Celeste packing. Of course, Ender wasn't in the stratosphere to give them the eggs they needed to stay standing. So, of course, a nice little K opener over to them.
A nice play here from MJK. They're in the central area right now of TTV, and this has been something we've seen from MJK in both of these games here. Just incredibly aggressive, always taking these fights, putting the pressure on TTV. And right here at the start of game number 2, they're looking a little stronger than they did at the start of game 1.
Nice little cotton ball on top, trying to secure that for the team without having to overextend. Of course, it goes the way of TTV, and that's what they were hoping, of course. But look at the pressure that the MJK is mounting in the bottom path here. Hagu King playing very well and
irritating है बहुत ज़्यादा.
with the tree,
अरे यार
allowing for this push to
1-0
kind of
BTS.
rage on. They're just trying to buy
यहाँ
some
भी
time for
SATL
Locomo to engage. They
मैच
go in,
नहीं चल
the
रहे
wing
हैं.
beats come through. They can't
SATL के मैच चल कहाँ रहे
shows
हैं?
up for the support.
टीम भाई.
Egg bombs are starting to rain in, and there's
कहाँ
the
पे?
beam. A beam on top of a tree. They ain't Miracle Grow in that one, as they're forced to retreat a little bit. Umbreon going back and getting a KO on the Inteleon. Okay, TTV's trying to mount something here, holding on to their goal zone. But now the Scyther used their Unite back the other way, and this KO should get 2 for them. They're trying to find. Now they'll make it 3, baby. They get far in the back line, and they're getting it for themselves. MJK.
SATL का मैच चल कहाँ रहा है?
MJK looking amazing here at the start of game 2. They've got the Inteleon right now. They've also got this massive aggression here, and you can see it with that Scyther, a Pokemon that we do not get to see a ton of competitively, but it is absolutely going off here in game number 1 as they are continuing this push, looking to rain more points into this goal, and they're trying to break this thing. Nice big Sacred Sword. Umbreon has to
अरे
run
इधर भी
away.
Zishan विलन खेलते हैं यार ये लोग. शर्म वरम है ही
Keeping him in
नहीं.
one spot. I mean, Zacian loves to sit there and hit its button right in your face, and that's kind of what Zacian does. It's offering up a very simple problem to answer, but what it does is it stresses all the other problems that are being presented, and you can't just necessarily answer all of them easily.
Yeah, what we have on the side of TTV
S8UL
now
का कहाँ लगा है?
finally this Venusaur. We also have Urshifu, who stayed top that entire game.
कहाँ पे है शेड्यूल का मैच?
Yeah, Aqua King and Lakubo have been playing such a good front line here.
इधर तो
Trevor
इनका
Unite
चालू
comes
है.
up. That's on top of 3 players. Solar Beam back the other way. Finally sorts out Lakubo. Now this might be an opportunity for DTV to make a stand here. But unfortunately, the points are going in because the Reggie Alecki hit. So really, all MJK has to do is get as many points as possible. I can't believe the Zashin got a KO Shrika 2 on the way
ये
out.
वाला क्या?
Lutano gets 2 back the other way. But MJK gets another positive
अरे माँ
exchange.
कसम. अरे सोल स्पोर्ट्स वॉटरा. अरे ये लोग ने 2-2 स्ट्रीम किए. अरे क्या कौन बताएगा ये? तुम मैड वैड हो गए रे. कौन निकाला? अच्छा वाइट ये खेल रहा था. ओ भाई डबल डिफेंडर एक सपोर्टर. अरे मेल्टर किधर है? इनकी टीम पे तो मेल्टर ही नहीं है. माँ कसम वॉटरा. विल बी राइट बैक. अबे नेक्स्ट मैच दिखाओ ना. इंडियन कंटेंट क्रिएटर सुनते नहीं. सेम चैनल लाइव सेक्शन देखो. अरे मेरे को पता ही नहीं था. ओह, ये लोग और एक कर रहे हैं. अरे ये पता ही नहीं था. ये तो बेंडी ये क्या सीन है? ये सही है. एलिट वर्क करने जो वर्क करने. अरे ओके बीसी आ जाओ. रुको भाई रुको जरा सा. ये एसएटीएल का मैच चालू हो गया भाई. जैसे एसएटीएल का मैच चालू हो गया. लेकिन आवाज नहीं आ रहा है. ये लोग क्या सिर्फ यही बात करने वाले क्या? कोई बात नहीं. मैच देख लें. नहीं हो क्या पता चला. मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ. 1 मिनट के लिए मैं फेस कैम ऑन कर दूँ क्या? ज़्यादा बढ़िया रहेगा ना. तो एक व्यू मिलेगा. थोड़ा सा लाइट है इसमें मुझे. और हो सकता है थोड़ा टाइम रुको जाए. तो पिक देख लेते हैं उसके बाद जाते हैं. इंटेलियम. अरे अभी अभी वो चला रहा है. स्नैपशॉट लेकर गए. ये टिचकी दो ग्रुप स्ट्रीम पे हो फ्रेश होता. ठीक है. ओके. डबल डिफेंडर अभी वो लोग ले रहे हैं. इनका क्या सीन है? स्लो ब्रो उठाना पड़ेगा क्या भाई? 60 लेकिन इनका आवाज क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? आवाज वगैरह पूरा बंद कर दिया क्या? ये क्या है? व्हाट इज दिस बिहेवियर ब्रो? आवाज बंद. ऑल माइट का पिक तो दिखाओ. लास्ट पिक है. ब्लास्ट ही ले लेगा फिर भी बढ़िया है. ब्लास्ट ही लेकिन इतना कुछ. अरे माँ कसम सीरियसली. अरे ओ ऑल माइट सीरियसली क्या अलग अलग लगा रहे हैं क्या मैच? हाँ ना. एसएटीएल का पहला मैच हो गया. खत्म बच्ची. खत्म हो गया एसएटीएल का पहला मैच. तो फिर हमने पिक्स ले लिया ना अपने अपने. मैं फेस कैम लगा था फटाक से. किधर गया. थोड़ा टाइम वेट कर. वीडियो अच्छा ये ना. अरे बाप रे क्या अंधेरा है रे. मैं तो दिखेगा भी नहीं इसके अंदर. अंधेरा बहुत है. छोड़ो अपन चुपचाप मैच देखें. ज़्यादा बड़ी. लेकिन इतने इतने इसमें देखने से बढ़िया ना अपन उसी पे देखेंगे यार. वही इसी पे बढ़िया है ज़्यादा. एसएटीएल का मैच वो तो बाद में देखते हैं. सेशन अलाउड. एक्चुअली अलाउड है सेशन. 20 स्ट्रीम का ये लोग पता नहीं क्या कर रहे हैं यार कसम से. 2 स्ट्रीम्स हो रही है लेकिन इसमें कमेंट्री नहीं है. क्या फ़ायदा फिर इसका? 350 लोग अभी भी देख रहे हैं. शायद डिसेबल सब डिसेबल. कोई बात नहीं देख लेंगे जो भी है. चलो एटलीस्ट अपने बंदे ये तो कर रहे हैं. एसएटीएल का एक जीती है. पहला मैच एसएटीएल जीती है. आई होप सो. फिंगर्स क्रॉस ब्रो. दूसरा मैच जीते. पोजीशन बढ़िया से चल रहा है एक्चुअली इसके अंदर। अरे अरे बादशाह भाई सिक्योर तो है। टाइम टू शाइन वालों के लिए बस एक ही चांस है अभी, अगर इन लोगों ने निकाल दिया तो फिर तो जीजी है, वरना फिर हमारे एसएटीएल का तो हो जाएगा। अरे नंबर रे सिक्योर तो है बादशाह भाई का, मिला है। अंडे को खास करके अरे मार पोजीशन आगे नहीं। अरे नाइस रे, अंडे को बचाने के लिए पूरी टीम आ गई। अरे सिक्योर तो है भाई, अपने एसएटीएल वालों का सिक्योर बड़ा अच्छा है यार, मार बढ़िया रे, प्यारा सिक्योर है। नहीं अभी पोकेमॉन यूनाइट चैनल पर तो बहुत सारे लाइव है वही तो ना, ये लोग ने अभी एक विदाउट कमेंट्री वाला है, लेकिन ये अपना एसएटीएल वाला है। जो कमेंट्री वाला है उसमें एसएटीएल लोग ने दिखाया ही नहीं, मतलब दोनों साथ साथ चल रहे ना तो लाइव नहीं होगा उसका। जो लाइव हो रहा है एसएटीएल का वो नॉन कमेंट्री वाला है। अरे फालतू में पॉइंट वेस्ट कर दिया ऑल मैटर, मेहताब भाई ने फालतू में पॉइंट वेस्ट कर दिया, एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट दिया। अरे तो क्या, अरे यार क्या करो ना भाई, लग लीड में। मेहता भाई का सिक्योर था, एक नंबर क्या कर रहा है भाई, अच्छा दिख रहा है। निकाल इसको। ये अगर पुश हो गया ना इन लोग पॉइंट्स अच्छा खासा डंक मार पाएंगे। हो जाएगा शायद, भर दिया। भाई बुढ़े के लिए बच्चे भी सिक्योर्ड है ना, बहुत बढ़िया। दो गए, ये टची गड्डी वो मरने वाला है। अरे सर सर बढ़िया, ये है ना, अब किया है भाई। ओवर अग्रेस नहीं कर रहे भाई, बहुत बढ़िया बात है। S8UL वर्सेस टाइम टू टाइम दूसरा मैच है, मतलब तो ये वाला मैच भी थोड़ा सा S8UL कर देना। मिशन खींचा ही है तो थोड़ा लांडे ने क्या ये किया है। अंडे को इज्जत है, खत्म, बहुत हार्ड वे। अंडा क्या खेला है रे, सोल थोड़ा सा पीछे, अब शिट, अब खत्म, डिफेंड करना पड़ेगा। डिफेंड करेंगे तो बढ़िया, लेवल डिक्स आ गए लोग। ये मारेगा, नाइस रे, नाइस डिफेंड। मटका करेंगे ये लोग, करो चालू। मटका तो चालू कर दिया है, बट सिक्योर है क्या, सिक्योर है क्या पहले वो देखना। बढ़िया बे, उर्ची बुडेड, नाइस वन गाइस। अरे करना मटका, अरे जरूरत है तुमको, तो 9 डेज को भगाने के लिए बैठा है क्या। अरे चालू करोगे मटका। अरे गड्डी लैम्पर की, नाइस वन, हर जगह से डिपेंड कर रहे हैं। और रेक्स ने अभी तक अल्ट मारी नहीं। बढ़िया, अबे मटका करो भाई, पहले करोगे क्या। S8UL का यही तो बीटी है, मटका ही नहीं करते। अबे खत्म हो देख, अभी तो मेल्ट हो जाओगे तुम लोग। हाँ कसम दे, क्या मजाक करते हो भाई। इतना प्यारा मैच खींचा, अभी मरने वाले हो। 30 सेकंड बाकी है, करो ना मटका। खत्म, ऑल माइट भी मरेगा। फिर अरे मटका तो करो। अबे शीबे, कसम से भाई, जिधर उसको मार दिया था ना, उसको सिक्योर वाले को, तो उधर ही मटका कर देना चाहिए था भाई। दिखाए ना डेव, अबे चांस ही क्यों देते हो बे, तो मटका कर देना चाहिए था भाई। क्या हरकतें करते हैं ना अपने इधर के भी बंदे, कसम से। ये क्या है, अबे इतना तो बढ़िया खेला था, मटका कर देते क्या जाता। सिक्योर भी तो है तुम लोग के पास बढ़िया सा। अरे स्नोवी है, ऑलमाइट है, म्यू है। अरे म्यू एक बढ़िया सिक्योरर है, जिंदा था ना। कर देते। उनका पूरा एक बंदा तो मेन मर गया, वो ऋषि भी। पर बाकी ये लोग क्या करते इतना? दिखाओ भाई दिखाओ, डैमेज वैमेज सब दिखाओ, कहाँ पे ग्राफ है, क्या है क्या है, सब दिखाओ भाई, वो देखने के अपने को। और उनके मेन वाले इस पे क्या हुआ, एसिडल का मैच दिखाया? एसिड एसिड एसिड, अभी तक एसिडल का मैच नहीं दिखा, ठीक है। तो इस पे देखते हैं।
Now they're caught on the backside of a nightmare. They get KO'd. Zacian tries to give them support, but now they're singled out. It's a 3-on-1, and they're collapsing on top of Zacian. Can they get a Hoopa portal? They're going to see if they can catch it. Phantom Force comes through for a nice little potential stun and lets the Zacian get out of dodge. Now they're collapsing on Neri, who wants the KO on Otter, and they get it back the other way. Snipe shot gets them sorted out, and this fight rages on. Hagu King finally frontline a little bit for Lukupa the Zacian, or for Sona the Zacian, and they're able to play back on their side. These are the most aggressive supports and tanks I've seen in a long time, Spraggles.
Insanely aggressive. The fight is still continuing. I think they only backed off there for a second so they could give you a moment to breathe. This Reggie Rock is being ripped off the board right here. MJK, once again, look at this positioning. Look how aggressive they are, just pushing TTV out of all of these fights.
I mean, they're trying to make TTV cross the living room with Legos on the floor. They keep stepping on him like, what's going on? Why can't I cross this living room? Why is it so difficult? And that was off the back of some port and a tank player. And there goes a goal zone. Lukapo and Hagu King again are going in deep. Zugrug is low. They find the engagement. They get the KO. Scyther still stands. Celestial comes through, gets the KO back on the Scyther. But the Zacian's just throwing down those big sword winds right in the middle, cutting off the rest of the team. Phantom Force right to the rest of the TTV squad to try and catch attention. Italian gets a KO back on the Hoopa. KO streak 2 for Celeste. But now they're caught in the middle of a face of a Zacian. Neri comes in. They're going tons of air support. Bang, 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 bang. They're trying to sort out the Calgary Cram is. Sona finally makes it out, dodges the egg bomb. And now TTV is sieging a goal zone. And they're finally going to be able to get a crop of points in. Come on.
Somehow making their way across the living room full of Legos. Call them the sticky bandits or the wet bandits, whatever you want to call them. They are no longer
Time to shine wins game 2 versus
S8UL
esports with the final score of
what an aggressive series between these two teams.
थर्ड गेम चालू होगा तब अपन देखेंगे थर्ड गेम स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ ना, S8UL का मेन थर्ड गेम है, वरना वो लोग डेप्थ आ जाएंगे भाई। I hope so S8UL कर लें।
traditional wild Pokemon farming that they're used to, and now Hagu King's just on their side of the map poaching whatever's left. I mean, MJK has a very clear-cut aggressive strategy, and they're executing it over and over again. Nice secure on the side of TTV.
Order का बढ़िया से कर दे।
Otter gets it done with the side shock. They're coming through. Zacian gets the upper but they're looking for one back the other way.
Reset में लगा उसको,
Italian
reset में
gets
लगा।
them. We have the Cowboy Cram Unite. They're firing shots on everybody. KO streak of 2, and now the Regieleki's going to hit, close that goal zone out. That might have been the best case scenario for them in this case.
Yeah, incredible stuff there from MJK. Cowboy Cram actually heading home through that portal, but it looks like they came back up with a KO as now TTV is pushing towards this bottom goal, looking to put some points, and they just want to break it at this point so that they don't have the positional advantage here for this next fight. TTV trying to make something happen. We see the snipe shots firing towards the side of MJK as they are continuing to push. Hoopa, of course, could bring the whole team down right now. It is level 9. It has its Unite move.
They're trying to stun down Zugrug. Nice little engage. Trevian comes out. It only catches Zugrug, but that's a prime target for them right now. Woodhammers are laying in. And another objective bought literally off the back of Hagu King, who is playing so well in that front line.
Yeah, that Trevin is just so incredibly aggressive, always in the face of TTV, but really every single member of MJK never afraid to take a fight. As we have 4 minutes left in this match, and there we go once again, Hagu King in the central area of TTV, taking away their farm.
I mean, the level of comfort that this player has on that Pokemon is very clear to all of us now. That's why they're prio-picking it so high, because they know Hagu King is built different on this thing. That's what they want, and now they're closing their goals on shrinking this lead. It's less than 200 now. Hagu King's there. If they get a KO on them, that doesn't even really matter because they're isolating TTV from the rest of their key players.
Yeah, great stuff here from MJK. Of course, they get chipped up, they get pushed back, but they're able to put the points on the board. They are now down by less than 100 as as a big Unite move comes in from the Hoopa. They're getting really aggressive on this goal zone.
Yeah, look at that spacing right in time of the Cowboy cramps. Everybody had to
Proper-
retreat back through the shots
proper
that were
cram
going
है.
out. Zugrug's still
Proper
playing far
cram
forward,
है.
forces out their Unite move. They're still on top of this goal zone. Zugrug's
Tighter,
low.
yeah.
Ashbjorn takes out the Scyther quickly with a side shock here. Egg bomb misses wide. KO streak of 2 for Otto. They're absolutely heating up. Who makes it through the portal? Almost everybody. Are they going to rain back through? They're not going to make that choice. They're going to hang out for a minute and take a deep breath because that didn't quite end up the way they wanted. TTV standing tall in the middle of the tsunami.
Yeah, that was just crazy.
भाई
It
सोल
felt
का
like they
मैच
were coming at them from all
मैच चालू हो
angles.
गया.
TTV
सोल का मैच चालू हो गया भाई. अपना लास्ट मैच है एसएडब्ल्यू का. लास्ट मैच है भाई. पहला मैच एसएडब्ल्यू जीत, दूसरा मैच टाइम टू शाइन, अभी तीसरा मैच. अब हुपा बैन किया है लोगों ने. हुपा क्यों? पिछले टाइम हुपा ने लोगों को दिक्कत दिया भी था क्या? अरे म्यूटू, म्यूटू बैन है भाई. म्यूटू नहीं चले. नो देखना ऑल माइट क्या उठाने वाला. रेंज पोकेमॉन है. ठीक है. ऑल माइट ब्लास्ट ही उठाने वाला है क्या? अच्छा गावत. अरे ये क्या है? अरे वो क्लोज रेंज थोड़ी खेलेगा. लॉन्ग रेंज खेल रहे हो, क्लोज रेंज थोड़ी है. डबल बीम खेल ले. अरे बाप रे, सीन होएगा अभी. रेक्स को घुसना पड़ेगा आगे. फिर चांसेस है अभी. कम ऑन इंडिया, लेट्स गो, लेट्स गो. कर भाई, अभी टाइम है ना. थोड़ा बहुत देखना पड़ेगा. लैप्रेस और रूपा बैन है भाई. लाइव हाउ? अभी लाइव? अरे अभी ये है ना WCS का इवेंट चल रहा है. मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, 20 लाइक्स हुए कि नहीं अभी तक? मेरे को ये बताओ पहले. 20 लाइक्स हुए कि नहीं? इतने को वो करने के कंप्लीट नहीं हुए तो करो फटाफट. और मैं VC पे बैठा हूँ. जो है बंदे VC पे आ जाओ फटाफट से. पोकेमॉन यूनाइट लाइव वाले VC पे. ठीक है, जो आएगा तभी आ जाना. हम लोग अभी आई गेस 8 साढ़े 8 बजे तक, मतलब नेक्स्ट मैच जब एसएडब्ल्यू का खत्म होगा ना तभी अपन चले जाएंगे फिर. अरे ये थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा हैवी मैच होने वाला है. मेरे को ऐसे फीलिंग आ रही है. फीलिंग से आ रही है मेरे को. अरे 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 क्यूरम भाई, इतना इतना आग किधर आ रहा? अटैकर किसी खेल रहे यार आजकल सब लोग. हालात देखो भाई. ये भी अभी लॉन्ग रेंज खेलेगा. माइट के लिए दिक्कत है ये मैच, बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा दिक्कत है. क्या करेगा भाई? लाइट पे मारो भाई, क्या कर रहे हो? अभी ऑप्शन ही नहीं बचा है कुछ भी. सारे सिक्योर वो लेके गए. एक लिथियन सारे सिक्योर लेके गए. एक फटके में हो गया. करो कॉल बैक हो गया. और क्या? नहीं 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 नहीं. अरे नाइस, कवर आ गया भाई किसी को. बढ़िया. पागल पागल है क्या? इंटेलियन को मारने के लिए कितना अंदर तक गया था ओलिपियन. स्नोवी को मारने के लिए कितना अंदर तक? तो शॉट लेना पड़ेगा लगता है. 6 का घूम रहा है ना. तो मेहताब भाई भी लेवल चाहिए दूसरे जंगलर भाई लेवल कर दिया बहुत हार्ड खेल रहे लेकिन अरे पकड़ किडनैप भाई किडनैप पड़ गई एक बेल्ट सिक्योर करने वाले हैं अरे रेक्स घुस तो गया बंदे ही नहीं है बैकअप के लिए अरे मर क्या आएगा वो बहुत बढ़िया अरे बेचारा रेक्स गया तो था लेकिन उधर पीछे से कोई बैकअप फायर ही नहीं था अपने S8UL वालों के पास मेल्टर बढ़िया है मेल्ट अगर करना होगा ना तो ये लोग कर सकते हैं मेल्ट फाइनल फाइट लेट गेम बढ़िया है इनका तो सिक्योर लेकिन देखना पड़ेगा थोड़ा बहुत क्योंकि सिक्योर तीन भी नहीं ऐसा बोल सकते 2 है ऑलरेडी का मेरे पास तीन है लिटरली 3 सिक्योर है मैंने देखा नहीं वो बीम किल का उसका बिल्ड थोड़ा सा जॉर्ज हुआ था लेट्स गो S8UL गाइस एक पीछे किडनैप कर अरे भाई किडनैप अरे मार दे किडनैप कर लिया था अरे उसको अरे नाइस वन यार अच्छा भाई जॉड हो गया करो अभी मटका करो अब द टाइम अभी मटका करो चांस मिल रहा है बहुत बढ़िया है ना S8UL नाइस है नहीं सिक्योर नहीं है इनके पास तो पता है ना बोला था पकड़ लिया भाई फाइनली उनको सिर्फ और सिर्फ उस लीपियन से बच के रहना है लीपियन मरेगा उधर ही चीज़ें खत्म मार बहुत गंदा रहा है तो ब्लिची को पकड़ा उसने लॉल व्हाट अ जोक overdone किया जा रहा है guys let's go यार ज़्यादा नहीं, एक निकाल लो, एक का। अभी सब कुछ इनके ऊपर ही है। अब इंडिया के अंदर गेम चलेगा या नहीं पूरा। अर्ली गेम डिप का है, लेवल डिप थोड़ा बहुत हो रखे है। लीड गेम थोड़ा अच्छा जाए तो बढ़िया है। वो लीफियन ऊपर टॉप पे क्या कर रहा है? टॉप वाली घास में बैठा है वो। सीरियसली क्या कर रहा है? अच्छा ये लोग ओ पकड़ उसको। अरे नाइस भाई, इन दोनों को डिप दे दिया इसने। ले खत्म। दोनों बंदों को एक लीफियन ने 2 लोगों को काटा। खा लिए डिप। 2-1 होते हुए गाइस, लेट्स गो। और ये ZEUSALpha एंड मोमेंट डिप का है शायद से। अरे नाइस शॉट। अरे एक नंबर रे। अकेला बंदा क्या करेगा? फायरमैन 3 सिक्योर है उनकी टीम में। लिटरली 3 सिक्योर लेके बैठे हैं वो लोग भाई। 3 सिक्योर है। हार गए लोग, अब क्या? भर दिया भाई, खत्म है। भाई ऐसे क्या लहन करते रे? अच्छा वैसे जब मैच निकल सकता है, निकलने वाले मैच में भी ऐसे क्या सीन है? जी भाई अभी फिर से एक मैच है ना, और वो भी लुमिनोसिटी के। यही चांस था कि ये लोग जीते, लेकिन नहीं, हमको जीतना थोड़ी है। सेकंड वाला मैच में मस्त मटका कर देते, आराम से निकाल लेते। इनका मैच अभी तक खत्म नहीं हुआ क्या? अभी एक मैच के एक सेकंड टीटी भी हार गई।
From MJK, and it was all over at that Rayquaza. You know, it matters how you
Rayquaza at 20%. Where's the ball? Root taking Wicked Blow. Wicked Blow seals the TTV, makes the magic happen. And Waterspout is still ripping and gripping on nobody, but Sunrub's about to score on it. Burger back the other way. KO Striga 2 for Overlord, and they go straight to score.
And welcome back, everybody, to the World Championships here in Yokohama, Japan for Pokemon Unite. We just had 2 incredible matches, not only here on the main stage, but also on the B stage, where Time to Shine just actually took down Seoul Esports in a 3-game set. But we have had incredible matches to start this off, and it's only going to get better from here. I cannot wait to see all of these teams continue to battle it out, but we're going to be moving forward, and now I'm going gonna be here with everybody's favorite, Kello. I'm so glad you're here. We got to talk a little bit earlier on the broadcast, but you're finally here, finally on the desk. How's it feeling?
Amazing, I must say. It is definitely amazing to be standing next to the Wonder Chef. So, but obviously, TTV, MJK, for a first set of the day, I must say it was wild, and that is only just a taste of what what is to come.
That's right. We've got a great match coming up as well. Another match of essentially East versus West. We're going to have Team MYS taking on Team Peps. And I said that these were some of the matches, or some of the teams that I was most excited to see throughout this entire weekend. But as we've seen, even from the Heartbreakers from the first sets, it's so wild to think. You just assume a lot of these teams will make it to day 2, but you really never know.
Look, expect the unexpected, right? But obviously, we need to talk about these teams. Team MYS. So we spoke earlier. We have Yangs and Rebongs, who were here last year, part of Renaissance. They did come 3rd. So obviously, they have a new crew. We'll have to see how they gel together. We have seen them throughout the season this year. They did come 1st in APAC West, obviously in April, qualified, and they actually ended up coming 2nd in the championships.
S8UL वालों को ना
This is the
उधर
first
नहीं
time that
बेटी
we're going
करना
to be
चाहिए था.
seeing any of the APAC teams on broadcast so far today. Of course, we're still in the 3rd overall broadcasted game of the weekend, so I'm very excited that we do get to start off seeing so many different regions, but their opponents will be, again, yet another region that we haven't seen here on the main broadcast, which is going to be Team Peps, formerly known as Woof Woof earlier in the UCS season. They are one of my favorite teams to watch by far, placing extremely well in the regional finals at EUIC, but I believe making it 3rd out of their region overall as far as seeding go, behind Talibova Believers and Nouns. But they are a team that has brought so much uniqueness every single time that we've seen them play, and with such a wide variety of available Pokemon that are so good in the meta, I'm really curious what they're going to be bringing out today. Do you think we're going to see anything spicy, Kelly?
Look, the thing is, with Team MYS,
थोड़ा सा ये लोग को ना
hyper-aggressive
समझ
early
के
games, but they
करना चाहिए
come
था.
up with some crazy strats as we've seen throughout the season. So the thing is, obviously, I feel like there is that sort of set meta across that we know, but it's the crazy strats that are going to catch these teams off guard.
Definitely.
Yes, without a doubt, this is going to be, I think, a day for all these teams, not just these 2 teams, a day of how much can you kind of stay on your toes as when you're dealing with these weird meta picks. And we haven't seen anything super spicy so far, but I feel like we're going to see it here. You know, we were just talking a little bit right before this to the Japanese casters for the Japanese broadcast, and we were saying, what are you most excited to see? What player are you most excited to see? And one of the answers was Potato, which is a really cool pick. Potato specifically on the Garchomp. If we do end up seeing that, everybody loves seeing the Garchomp. I know Zoinks is out there. I'm actually pointing at him, but he can't see it. He is a huge Garchomp fan, so he popped off, but I know that a lot of people out there are as well. So we'll see if that ends up being one of the spicy picks, but again, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we've had a really interesting meta so far in the day. We've seen Zacian from multiple Asian teams now so far, but none of the Western teams have chosen Zacian at all. Do you feel like Zacian is going to do well this weekend, or do you think it's going to be a little underrated, or what, undervalued? What do you think?
Look, only time will tell
बहुत ज़्यादा चल रहा है
how
Jason.
well it goes. Obviously, we have only seen it once, and we've only spectated the one set, so we actually don't know. We have a long day ahead of us, but as I said, you know, it's these crazy wild things that these teams aren't going to expect. Maybe they are expecting it. I'm not too sure how much preparation they have gone into today, but I'd expect it would be quite a lot.
That's right, and you know, there's some preparation for you to do as well. You can use code 2nd Anniversary in Pokemon Unite to celebrate the 2nd anniversary. I can't believe we're here at 2 years, but of course, this is the 2nd championship, so of course it's got to be 2 years. You can get the limited license for Mew and Mewtwo, and then some of the platinum emblems as well. So you've got some stuff for yourself to start powering yourself up for potentially your competitive.
भाई Mew और Mewtwo का platinum emblem में होता क्या?
So fun to be kind of along on the ride for. I'm so happy that we've been able to see so many different teams do very well.
Mewtwo के platinum emblem में है क्या?
This is going to really inspire people for next UCS season to really come out format works for anybody who's just tuning in, because this is going to be a long weekend. We're currently in the group stage. There are 8 groups, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H, and there is a round robin between every single member of those groups. So every one team that you're going to see here today is going to be playing 2 or 3 games based on how you do in, based on how many members there are in that group. That's what I'm going for. And then the top team of each of those groups will be moving forward to tomorrow, which is a whole big different thing. But just once again, if you have not been kind of following along throughout this entire season, we've got a little explainer for you for how this works.
Roland's going for a hero play. Trainer starting through. Buzzwell takes it.
But they couldn't stop either of them. 500
Get
points.
somebody's points in. That goes in.
Hello, trainers. Join us as we cover the format for the Pokemon Unite World Championships in Yokohama, Japan. Over the past season, players from all over the world have competed at the highest levels in their regions to qualify. Each competing region will be sending their best teams to represent them on the world stage. High stakes will test the resolve in the most anticipated tournament of the year. On the first day of the World Championships, teams will be sorted into groups, then face off in round-robin matches. The best teams from each group will advance forward. This takes us into the second day, where the top teams from day 1 will battle through a double elimination bracket, all the way to the grand final.
पूरा अभी ये लोग राउंड रॉबिन इसका फॉर्मेट एक्सप्लेन करते हैं भाई.
Can look forward to being crowned the world
कितना टाइम?
champions, as well as take the lion's share of the $500,000 prize pool. All of the best teams are eager to prove themselves in Japan. Who will ultimately win? Will there be any surprises? Comeback stories? You never know what'll go down. Be sure to tune in and find out.
And you can see there that it's going to be a tough road for so many of these teams here. And of course, we're getting set up for Team MYS versus Team Pep. So who could that be? Who's that Pokemon? I think we all know there. One of the most famous in the crowd. Oh, look at Guachi in the background. Look at that. A double shot of some well-known casters here in the community. I'm loving it.
I absolutely love Pump wearing that drip. That is definitely the suit that he is known for. You can spot him from a mile away in that suit.
Anna.
Actually, was wearing like, I think it wasn't like full suit pants, but like shorts of it yesterday. I could be wrong on that. I was like, wait a minute, that's not the full thing. How is that even possible? So I'm always impressed by that. But huge shout outs to the entire scene here. Like I said, showing up so many just to even spectate. It is like nothing I've ever seen from across the world. I mean, I bet in this camera shot we're seeing people from at least 6-7 different countries, even that one alone. This one, way more.
Oh, well, that's the thing. It's just so multicultural here. There's a wide variety. It's not only, obviously, players from their home turf in Japan, but we have people from all around the world here, Chef.
Oh, I know. And in all of these different regions, of course, we're going to see APAC West versus EU. That just shows how far it goes. But once again, everybody in the crowd. This truly is Pokemon Unite. You know, there's a reason why it's called Unite. It's brought so many people together from so many different regions, which is what we're seeing. I mean, how many people have we already met that we've never had the chance to meet in person just throughout even this bit? I mean, look, we've got even a competitive team right back there. Look at they're hiding behind the camera shot. Hold on a minute. You can't hide back there.
Look, one thing I must say is I love how
कौन सी टीम है ये?
all those people are, they have their favorite Pokemon by their side. Probably a good luck charm, but I think you can tell a lot about a person about the plushie that they do carry around with them, right?
Yeah, you have to have your lucky Pokemon, right? I mean, I've got Cramorant. I actually had my Cramorant plushie. I should have brought it, but it was at home. I do have my Cramorant shirt for maybe tomorrow. I know you got the Eevee shirt. Is Eevee your luck Pokemon?
Eevee, or the Eeveelutions in general, Sylveon would be my favorite. I would absolutely love to see somebody pick up Sylveon today. Fingers crossed.
Hey, I think there's an extremely good chance we're going to see that. But another thing that you can see yourself is it's not just a competition for this weekend for Unite. There's events that you can take yourself, take a part in. And so we can take a look at one of those that's going on in Pokemon Unite right now. So that's going to be a great opportunity for you to get Mewtwo. Oh, we see the little Mew right there. Number 1 enemy of Mewtwo. But you, of course, are not going to be seeing Mewtwo at this tournament. Plenty of Mew, I am sure, without a doubt.
Oh, without a doubt. Now, while we might not be able to get Mewtwo, we have obviously seen Zacian already. Both those legendaries, we know that they're super powerful. So, I wonder if we're going to end up seeing any other teams picking up that Sword Dog.
Oh, I feel like almost undoubtedly we are going to. Yeah, so when I was referencing earlier that I had seen another Asian team, it was the ZEUSAlpha Esports coming out of India that did choose it on the B stream. So just want to remind everybody that there are quite a few stations of gameplay. Of course, we're here on the main stream. There's a B stream that's going to be gameplay only, just in an effort to be able to show off as many of the competitive matches as possible today. So a huge shout out to production for making that happen. They put a lot of work in there.
They definitely did put a lot of work in there. But you know what? Not only production, but look at this stage. It is beautiful.
I know, and this is so representative of the area, you know, I know our hotel's right next to that actual Ferris wheel, which is very cool, by the way. It lights up with a Pikachu every 15 minutes. Very, very bright outside my window. Definitely not when I'm trying to sleep, not at all. No, I'm just kidding. It's very cool. This area is sweet. And we can talk about the prizing. Why don't you run us down on how much these teams are earning, because it's a lot.
Look, it is a 500k prize pool that it's on the line this weekend. So, from 13th to 16th, we have $5,000, which, you know what, I think is pretty good for a day or 2 days of Pokemon Unite. From 9th to 12th, you do take home $10,000. And Chef, tell us about the rest.
Well, first of all, let me just say that if you get 16th, you get just about enough to for one full run in the Pokemon Center, which I think we've both experienced. But I actually forget where you ended off because I was thinking about how much money I spent there this weekend. But I believe 7th through 8th, it's going to be $25,000 for the team, 5th through 6th, $45,000, and then 60,000 and up. So just a lot of money on the line. We've had a decent amount of money throughout the rest of the season, but this is where the real meat and potatoes of the prizing is. And again, if any of those teams win that money, please, I need help. I bought everything at the Pokemon Center.
Look, I mean, I must say, I see a fair few shopping bags walking around, so I think we are not the only ones that may have spent all of our cash at the Pokemon Center. Obviously, picking up some plushies, maybe some merch. I know a lot of people are definitely looking snazzy
S8UL match.
Oh, well, you know what is looking snazzy to me is this draft. We're finally getting into it here. It's going to be Team MYS on the left, Team Peps on the right, APAC West versus EU, and the bans are coming out. We're going to see potentially here, as we're going to this, love that they added this midway through the season, the ban kind of like
S8UL का next match अभी तक चालू हुआ ही नहीं है भाई.
Look, it makes sense. We have seen previously, it is like this double defender meta. They are rocking house right now. But to get rid of 2 defenders straight off the block, it doesn't really leave very much choice for these teams.
Right, I wonder if we're going to be seeing an
Umbreon
first pick on the side of Team MYS. Again, it's time to see how these kind of regions match up against each other in their styles of draft. There can be so many things you can value highly here. The Umbreon was the pick. I feel like it's such a smart choice with both of the big defenders, or 2 of the big defenders, there's so many now, out of the pool immediately. But are we going to see a first pick Wigglytuff that has to be just hovering over? There's no way we're actually going to see it. Okay. We're going to see the Urshifu and the Hoopa, much more of what we'd expect.
Did Potato just bait us thinking we were going to get the Wigglytuff? But no, I mean, Urshifu and Hoopa, 2 very good first picks for Team Peps. Obviously, Hoopa is a spectacular supporter to have on your side, the kit that it has to be able to teleport your teammates not only back home, but also up into the top path and bottom path.
Yeah, and sometimes there's a mean look, and they can only be in the exact area of that portal, so you kind of want to get them out of there in any way possible. Oh my gosh, there's no way. Come on, there's no way they're actually trolling me. I made it. No, they're trolling me. I want to see Mamoswine so bad, but this is a great pick as well. He's still like a playmaker defender, and he's still very strong. And when we've got the level of defender players on the side of Peps, I love to see it. And Nintendo, I'm surprised getting picked so late, but starting speech is the other side.
Look, the thing is, I am definitely loving Yang's pick here. I feel like this is a really common pick for the APAC region. Clefable, just having that area healing if it does end up going for that Moonlight build, and then supporting the double defenders. Obviously, you have Blastoise and Umbreon. It's going to be hard to take down such a chunky team comp.
It is, and the final pick, Buzzwall. That is a great choice, I think. A lot of people currently, of course, the Surf is used extremely, quite a bit as well, but if you have the spin, I think it is a great opportunity to be able to kind of grab people out of the spin stoys, to be able to stop even the speedsters, right? When the speedsters are trying to like zip around, if you can just grab them, suddenly they're just a sitting target for the rest of your team. So I really like this final pick.
Well, the thing is, you do have a Zoroark there, so whether it's going to be able to weave out of the muscly arms of the Buzzwell, that is definitely going to have to be a challenge for Rebongs there.
That's right. So we've got our draft for game number 1. Some cool picks, some ones that we've seen before, but there's only one way to send it over, and we got to send it over to
Defenders
our
ban
masters.
kar
We're
rahe
going to start
actually
off
log.
game number 1 of Team MYS versus Team Peps.
All right, Doob Snacks, here we
Defenders
go.
बहुत ban हो रहे
Game
हैं.
number 1, EU versus APAC West. Are you ready?
I am ready. I'm looking this MYS team. If you're looking
Cliffable
at
को कोई
UCS
ban करता हुआ
season
दिखा
one,
नहीं है अभी तक. सब लोग
Yang
Cliffable
was
चला
playing
रहे
a little bit more of that aggro role as they were falling in line with like Zarina and Venusaur in tandem with Rebongs there. Another thing that sticks out to me right now, Peps, Cali with the Wicked Blow Urshifu. It's really tough to take them off an objective when they're on that Pokemon. We literally saw them have a run in a tournament of like 8 secures in a row across an entire set.
Yeah, and that's something
लगा
that
के देखा,
obviously MYS is
अंधेरा
going to
बहुत ज़्यादा
figure
है.
out a way to deal with as we head in here
थोड़ा
to
सा off कर
game
दिया.
number 1 between these two teams. MYS, your purple team, Team Peps, your orange team. And it's so exciting seeing these different regions clash, the strategies come out from each of them, the different play styles, and seeing what will actually work inside some of these games.
मरना है, feeling आ रही है,
A lot
मरना
of
है.
trouble right here. Peps getting extremely aggressive up in that
मर गया,
top path.
मर
There's
गया,
that Buzzwall
मर गया.
from Potato, looking for the
अरे,
Fell Stinger, just barely misses the KO.
Just barely missed it, puts tons of pressure on, and that was a couple stacks that are
क्या
going to
बचा?
the hands of
आज तो
MYS,
सुबह
so
कैसे
they're
होता
pretty
है
happy
लेकिन?
with that exchange, the fact that they didn't get knocked out. Of course, that's good. Nice little Inteleon action for Peps. Love to see that. And honestly, Peps went to a lot of old favorites here. They're trying to build themselves some comfort on stage here in game 1. MYS, on the other hand, they're looking to throw a little bit of different action and maybe a little spin to win in the Clefable Moonlight to just have this endlessly never KO'able Blastoise by endgame.
Here we go, Cali getting ready with that big wicked blow here. Nice moves by Peps. Looks like they got a lot of that here as Squirtle still way behind, needs its level 5 as they are now pushing into the bottom path right here. But it's hard to push into this Inteleon with that massive water gun early. They're just going to chase them out. You know, I have to wonder, did MYS take away this Alolan Ninetales from Ikelis on the side of Team Peps? If they did, they gave them an Inteleon. So we're going to have to see how that's going to fare for them. They are amazing on Alolan Ninetales, but Inteleon is so powerful right now.
Look how aggro MYS is, and they're trying to dive on top of Cali. They know this is going to be an issue. They're sitting on top of the portal, just blink out in time. Good support by Human for Cali. Now that Zoroark is low, if they make the call, you actually see Ikelis peeling up to try and get on top of Rebongs here. They're going to make it out, but good adjustments on the fly by Peps.
Yeah, really nice job by Peps right there to make sure they did not get KO'd in that exchange. And you can see these hyperspace holes just in perfect positioning right here. They know how long it's going to take to charge up that wicked blow. They're able to charge it up, try to take a big secure, and then head back home in case the damage gets too intense from MYS. However, MYS, the only team to put points on the board so far, 21-0 right now.
That's no new news if you're Peps. We've seen them put up a lot of donuts by the end of a game here. They are the biggest pendulum swing of a team I've ever seen. We've seen them lose by 1,000-0 and literally win the next 2 games in a row in a tournament setting. Wildly, call it inconsistent. I call it just an absolute kerfuffle of a team strategy.
Here we go. Nice snipe shot, but unfortunately misses after that push from the Blizzard
इंटेलियन
right
में
there.
बहुत
Here
दिख
comes
रहा है
the
आजकल,
mean look,
बहुत
catching
ज़्यादा ही
that
दिख रहा है.
Inteleon.
S8UL ने भी
Beautiful
इंटेलियन
Blizzard
चलाया,
avalanche
TTV ने भी
here from
इंटेलियन
MYS.
चलाया,
4
ये लोग
points
भी इंटेलियन
raining in
चला रहे हैं. हर मैच
Yeah,
इंटेलियन
the
है.
hyperspace hole comes in, 2 players roll through. Nobody's sticking around for MYS. They got their job done and they're getting out because they know Cali is just 1 wicked blow away to turn the tides of that fight. Darting through here, MYS, but the Hoopas babysitting the Blastoise so they can't get their sacks in and they can't get too out of control. The basement Reggie's on the map, but not anybody really making a move here.
Yeah, it feels like MYS knows they want to take this fight. They don't want to let
खाली टर्बो
Peps try to secure this
जगह
right
कैसे है अभी?
massive avalanche Blizzard, but not able to pick up a KO. Nice snipe shot right there, but and here comes the pickup on that Zoroark.
मैच देखने के लिए जगह है क्या?
Potato bringing back on their side. That's the pick that they want. All of a sudden, the Regice isn't in contention anymore. Snipe shot, lock it in and rake it in. That's a KO. And now they're all over the Clavable. Marv spacing incredibly well. They just need to shell damage on this Regice, and Peps with just double paddles to the chest, sparked back to life out of nowhere.
Beautiful stuff right there. The defibrillator being that big KO there on Zoroark. That's when things really turned around for Peps. And then they knew they could take that fight. They knew they could push them out. The secure on the side of Peps is insane this match. Wicked blow and snipe shot's going to be massive. And then, of course, you've got Potato on that signature buzzwole of theirs, just able to keep the enemies away from the side of Peps as they secure both top and bottom objectives here.
Foxy is doing great on the Fox, spacing though. The Avalanche Blizzards are hitting true, catching multiple players at once, and actually because of that first engagement, the Unite move comes up and they want Foxy. Big punch through, is there enough to KO? Nobody else from Peps is there to deal more damage, but what does that do is spacing Spraggles, and now that goal zone has 14 seconds left on it, and they got a ton of points to buckle that thing.
Atrocious math here from Peps.
Brutal
I
math.
mean, what on earth?
Get them an abacus. Holy smokes. They had a 30 and a 40, 34 left, and they duffed it.
Yeah, that was a really unfortunate score there for Peps. I assume, you know, they're up on the main stage. Big moments happening right here. But you have to wonder if that point difference is going to make a big difference as the match goes on. Really unfortunate scoring, but they are still ahead on the scoreboard. They are still ahead level-wise. But they did give, you know, their opponents access to a ton of catch-up experience in the top path. We can see they now have a Blastoise. They have Unite moves on every single Pokemon on their side. So they are ready for a fight.
Absolutely. I mean, that is a 36-point swing right here, Spraggles. You want to talk about that 100-point threshold. That would have almost put them at that here in that match if they would have done that quick
try
math,
करने का ही क्या?
Buzzwole looking to poach a Blastoise. They certainly do. Put it on the backside.
Base camp का करना ही क्या?
Support
Team
here
shot.
forces Yemu to just peel back a little bit.
Yeah, nice surf there from Yemu, not getting caught up right there by the Blastoise. As we can see, they are pushing towards this goal zone. Nice big KO coming in right there. One goes down to the side of MYS as they are continuing this push.
They're continuing the push, and they got Foxy right out of the gate. Zoroark's looking for the engage, but they don't have enough stamina to keep up with this team. Nice heavy slam by Marv. They're going to see if they can get the time that the team needs to deal the damage. Hydro Typhoon right in the middle. Wicked Blow catches both of them, and now everybody's getting shelled in on. Everybody's going down. Now they're sieging this goal zone. Foxy's back just in time, forcing the Urge to heal. Potatoes in their face, though. They're trying to poach them back, but the rest of Peps bails, and that's exactly what they should be doing here. Give up Potato, save everyone else. Your push is over.
Yeah. Push is over. Great fight here from Peps. Really nice play there from MYS to make sure that they did not get more points into that goal zone. We have a bottom objective up here. We can see that Caligula is extremely low on HP as Regirock is already at half. They're going to look for a secure right here. But you can see the positioning from MYS. There really is no inroad for them. There was really nothing Team Peps could do right there. Nice play from MYS.
A little lost in the sauce is Peps. They didn't really make an adjustment to go up or down. They just kind of left Cali low on HP along with Ickless, but as we know, that Snipe Shot doesn't have any pierce, so it couldn't have gone through that chunk of players that were sitting around it. And now they're finally working on Regieleki. It's about half HP. Now we need spacing by Marv. They're playing far forward, and it looks like Regieleki's going to go to the hands of Peps. Let's see what they do with it.
Yeah, this Regieleki's going to push towards this top goal, and the question is, are they going to use this at all? If you look at their side of the map, there is so much experience that they need to clear out. It looks like they're just going to let this Regieleki walk. They're going to, you know, farm up on their side of the map, get as much XP as they can, because we're a minute away from Rayquaza right here, and they are still up on points.
They still up on points. Something I want everybody to note is Human is actually never with the team, right? They're always babysitting the other goal zone to portal everybody through to kind of stymie any pushes. They know they have the point lead, and how do we hold on to that? You make sure that Human is always on the other side of the map as a team to make sure that you always have running protection on those tier 2 goal zones.
Nice big snipe shots here from Ickless on the side of Team Peps, but at the same time, they have that Clefable there, and it really seems they're just able to heal through every time this happens. 20 seconds now until Rayquaza. It's going to be the first clash between these two teams at Rayquaza, and as you know, so much is decided in this fight. It's oftentimes a team that makes the big mistake here is the team that loses, or the team that puts the pressure on, has that aggression, looks for the secure, is the team that wins. 3 seconds right now, and you can see the positioning around this fight. Everyone hiding in the tall grass, waiting for their moment to strike. You have your defenders out here getting vision for their team. You can see see MYS actually getting pretty aggressive right here with their Umbreon, just trying to figure out exactly where members of Peps are. They know they are behind right now, Doopsnack, so they know they are the team that has to make a play right here, and they are moving towards Rayquaza.
The block already comes out kind of preemptively, so the Buzzwole can't get collapsed on. Froggy's coming through. I'm wondering if that EV passive is broken there. That's going to be important. We're trying to box out. Nice little pseudo engaged by Rebongs. They're chipped up. Buzzwole's all over this Pokemon. The Umbreon tries to make it happen. Use their Unite move. Unite back the other way. We're throwing everything in the middle. Rayquaza's at 0.5%. Big surf back the other way, trying to space out Peps. Can they get back in the middle, though? We're dealing a ton of damage. There's 2 players down already for MYS. Is there anybody that's going to be able to withstand the pressure that Peps is putting on? There's 2 players down. The rings are unbound, and the Hoop is trying to find some spacing. But this Spable is all over Foxy, when really they should be on top of the Blastoise. Finally, they find it back. Moonlight's right there just in time. They don't have the damage to follow up. 3 players down for Peps. And look at the Hoop just hanging out. They close the goal zone. Plus 80. This is right in the middle. Everybody's coming off on respawn shortly. They need Ikelis back in the middle to try and secure Spraggle. This Rayquaza is getting melted down so slowly. Marv goes down, but players are back. Who's going to try and get in the middle? Humans on the pivot. Are they going to be able to hyperspace ult steal this thing? They're going to try. They're going to try. The Zora takes it. Snipe shot is late. Human takes tons of damage. Every goal zone is up and open. They've got a great opportunity.
Here they go. 100 points raining into this top goal zone. It looks like another 100 points trying to rain into the bottom goal zone, and it does. Zoroark scores it as they push towards this goal zone. They stop the Clefable right there, so it is not able to score. However, broke the shield right here. 253 to 203. This is not over. They need to push. Zoroark, I believe, still has a Rayquaza shield, and so does this Alolan Ninetales, looking towards this bottom path. Here they come in, sneaking in, and can Buzzwole stop it? It cannot! It cannot! 353, 203, and there's just nothing that Peps can do as MYS is going to take game number 1.
Zoroark sandbagging their shield was the difference maker. Quickly got their points in, quickly got out, and opened up that opportunity for them to score. I'll tell you what, this was a heck of a match, and this was a lot closer than that last little final push. You said it right when we were talking about it. Rayquaza's come down to solid team fighting or the first one to make a mistake. Unfortunately for Peps, it was them. They got buckled quickly. They took a couple quick KOs, but they didn't have the sustain or follow-up, really prioritizing their targets down quickly enough and couldn't leverage the first 2 KOs they got.
Let me tell you, Foxy with that Blizzard Avalanche combo there at the end really seemed to set the whole thing off for them. Let's send it back on over to our analysts, Kello and Chef, to break this thing down.
Once again, the team in the lead comes out on the bottom. That's just going to be the story of today, apparently. But wow, Team Peps was looking very, very good. I mean, this was a great back and forth. This was a very close game altogether. It just seemed like they were in control, but I think that you can see right there, I mean, just all the scores at the end, of course, coming off that Rayquaza. So realistically, I feel like the Rayquaza fight was the turning point in that game.
Look, when there's a raid, there is a way. Obviously, yes, it's 10 minutes, but it all comes down to that final stretch. But let's have a look at these stats here. We were talking about this Alolan Ninetales, 61,000 damage output.
Yeah, this actually is a really low damage game from Team MYS for a win. Altogether, their highest damage being 60k, their second highest being less than 40k. On the other side, we've got Ikelis with, I mean, 82,000 damage and then almost 50k from multiple members. But that's what I was saying. It just felt like they were in the lead. But, I mean, exactly like the casters were just saying, so much of what's going to happen today, who's going to be making the first big mistake in a Rayquaza fight. And I think one of the biggest mistakes you can make is maybe not the obvious one of, one of our members walked out here and got picked in the tall grass and now still number 45 and we insta-lose. It's more like, here is a slow play where we were in the lead and then we didn't quite regroup and then slowly things started to fall away from us. But we can take a look at some of the highlights of how this match played out, because the early game was definitely a different story than later on.
No, definitely. You can see this push, this aggressiveness that Team Peps is just showing. But you know what? MYS, they are trying to put up the defenses. Umbreon there ends up going down. They end up... This A9 though, look at that snow globe.
A9, I mean, this was a really, really strong showing altogether. It's funny because we were actually literally just talking about how good A9 is off broadcast. You mentioned that earlier, but as we were watching this game before it was even picked, I mean, that just became such a great moment. But okay, actually, this is exactly where things started to turn around, right? We saw the first early picks coming from Team Peps, but this moment right here was huge, being able to turn everything around, and a lot of it was the Alolan Ninetales getting a ton of damage, just being in the greatest positioning on the left left side of that fight, being able to pick off, I believe it was 2 or 3 of the enemy Pokemon, and that just allowed Team MYS to carry on to the win. And then, even then, it wasn't over. They were still down by 150. They had to make the goals, and they did in a clutch timing.
It was definitely clutch indeed. Such a close matchup. But you know what? That is only the first one. There is still a chance for a comeback. But we do have our player of the game here, Rebongs on the Zoroark. We can obviously see with their build the double stacking items.
Right, and of course, a very well-known name here on the world's stage, but Zoroark, that's an interesting pick, as most of the speedsters will be. There are a lot of different options for speedsters that are working out very well in the current meta. We've got the Dodrio, we've got the Zoroark, we've got the Leafeon, assuming it stays unbanned, which is banned quite a bit. It could even flex down even further if we needed to see that. Not sure if there's ever going to be a chance to see that, but the Zoroark, even with some, I would say, some overall nerfs throughout the most recent few patches, is still a very, very powerful Pokemon.
Look, talking about flexing, I feel like the amount of Pokemon that these teams have up their sleeves, yeah, they might be known for one Pokemon, but you know what? We don't know what they have been practicing behind the scenes. I'm really excited to see how they might switch it up from Game 1, moving into Game 2, whether these bans are going to end up different, or whether they're going to end up sticking to their guns and picking that Slowbro and Lapras once again.
It's so hard not to go for that pick. It's such a safe pick. But again, Team Peps, very well known for bringing out some of these spicy picks. I mean, both of these teams very much could. We did see Potato doing very, very well on that Buzzwole, but specifically Potato always is really fun to watch on quite a few different of these brawler-type picks. And when we do see, of course, the shift, for people who aren't as familiar with how this draft mode works, once one game ends, they switch sides, and then the team that had the first pick is now on the second pick, but they do get the double pick. So their first picks go for 2 Pokemon rather than just 1, and the whole strategy changes, especially the bans for the team that gets to pick second. So we're definitely going to see a different banning strategy here. We can see what's taken away. One thing that I definitely feel like should be taken away from MIS was that Alolan Ninetales, as it was really, really the key member to them making that comeback.
It was a key member, but do you think it's ban-worthy though? I think that's the thing. If you can't actually ban it, maybe pick it up for yourself if it was such a threat. But whether Team Peps have that in their caliber, whether they have a player, or whether, you know, that just fits the team compositions that they have been preparing.
I agree with you completely. I think that stealing it away is maybe the best pick, and that's how we've seen teams deal with Alolan Ninetales best, I think, over the course of the season. But here we go. Game number 2. They have switched sides. Team Peps now on the left, Team MYS on the right. The Umbreon's going to be that first ban from Team Peps, looking like. On the other side, it looks like maybe the Slowbro, if things continue that direction. Double defender ban, I feel like that's something that we're going to be seeing a whole lot of throughout this weekend, but that means that first pick could be that Lapras, it could be the Inteleon, it's whatever Peps wants.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Or we do see Marv hovering over the Zoroark, or no, we're going to end up getting a switch there, and it does end up being Lapras. Look, obviously first pick, Umbreon last game. Now that Umbreon is banned, it is a smart choice to pick up that Lapras.
Yeah, I feel like we're really in the defender meta. No matter what, I think region that we get to see throughout this weekend, these 3 picks that you see as the double bans and then that first pick are going to be huge. They're going to be in almost every single game in one aspect or the other. And now seeing the Hoopa and the Urshifu picked up, I think that's another very common set of, especially like the first set of picks for the second team. They kind of combo well together, and they can just help control so much of the map in different ways, whether it be the mobility, the secure, everything about it. But we were talking about speedsters before. We got that Leafeon. We
do have that Leafeon in place of the Zoroark, so it does free it up for MYS to pick it on up. But we had talked about this. Obviously, now that Team Peps, they have that spot, they have actually gone and yoinked that Alolan Ninetales for themselves.
I think that's a great choice. Alolan Ninetales, really, I gotta say, I feel like it fits in almost every single comp. It's almost never gonna be that bad, but hold on. Is this, we're going over some interesting picks here. Peps has a lot of different options for stuff that they could go for. It's all going over speedsters right now. It's speedster roulette. We're going double speedster with the Dodrio.
Maybe speed is the key here, Chef. We don't know. Just run at him and hope for the best.
That's certainly a strategy, and it looks like that's what they're going to be going for. The Mew picked up the other side. I would say a very kind of base meta team with the double defender, the Trevenant, and the Blastoise on the side of Team MYS to close things out. And that Mew, which we actually haven't seen quite as much of today, but wow, this is a team from Peps. They're going to run it down.
Oh, they're definitely going to run it down with that triple-headed bird. But you know what? I spy a Mew. a Mew Foxy. Foxy plays an incredible Mew, and I cannot wait to see how they perform on this stage.
Mew is definitely one of those pop-off Pokemon, always so fun to see. But here we go, Team MYS up 1 game. Can they pull through? Will Team Peps tie it up in game number 2? Take it away, casters.
Here we go, game number 2, and yeah, Team Peps needs this one, and in some ways, so does, TTV, so does MJK. They want this to go to a 3rd game right here, so it's a little easier to move on through this group stage. Again, all of these games mattering so much. When you take a look at these 2 team compositions right here, Doobsnags, I mean, what do you favor? Because I feel like Peps' team looks like my solo queue teammates, and we're in a lot of trouble.
That's exactly kind of where my mind was going. But that's one thing that's, well, fun, and what's great about watching Team Peps is they are not afraid to throw anything at the wall in these big-time situations to see what sticks. And they've certainly drafted themselves something worth throwing at a wall.
Without question, we've got that Dodrio heading to the central area right here. And I'm sorry.
Yes, please.
Is this Lapras really sneaking into the central area here of MYS? We have to be very quiet right now. I don't want anyone on stage to know what's happening. But there is a sneak play happening. Oh, Hoopa actually noticed it right here. So the question is, can they make this secure happen as 3 members of MYS are up here to do something about it? Marv trying to make it out of here, but is being chased down. There's the focus band, and unfortunately not able to get anything going on right there, but they did waste a ton of time of 3 members of MYS.
Now it's about how much damage was Peps able to do in those 45 seconds, because that was the goal, right? Marv obviously would have liked to leave or take a buff or something, but of course that didn't quite pan out. So in retrospect, what did the other teammates do? You have your Leafeon online, you have your A9 online. 2 great starts, and those are the power spikes you're looking for at level 4.
And here we go up to the top path. Callie is here with the Dodrio. We have the Leafeon, like you just mentioned. They're moving in for this fight right here. Nice big drill back, takes it all over to the side of Team Peps.
Rapid Strike Urshifu can go deep here. Dodrio's kind of caught out. Solar Blade comes down. KO for the Hoopa now. KO opener onto MYS. Here's a good start for them as Eldegoss gets engaged on, and this pressure is going in. Holy smokes.
Yeah, great stuff there from MYS. Obviously, all the experience over to the side of Peps there for the fight, but, they decided to take it back in the form of KOs. Whoa, so close, just barely making it out through that hyperspace hole.
That would have all made it worth it here for Peps if they could have gotten at least one of those KOs. The fact that they left with nothing is tough. However, they are doing great on the levels leads here. Cali is still the biggest thing on the map. That's crucial for them. And now, how are they going to leverage these advantages? Because eventually, MYS's team scales better. They're going to catch up, and at that point in time, it's going to be a lot worse.
Yeah, you see Cali right here. I mean, still stacking up. Obviously, they stacked up in the top path early, moving back in with that drill peck. In a little bit of trouble right here, but they want those attack weight stacks so incredibly badly. They matter so much for these speedster Pokemon that scale extremely well off of their attack stat. They need to make sure that when that drill peck hits, it gets rid of something on the side of Team MYS.
Absolutely, that's going to be critical, of course. I'm looking at Ikelis. They're going to have to be a hyper carry to me. We've seen them on this Pokemon. They've played A9 incredibly well, and this needs to be one of their best performances. On the side of Potato, we've never seen Leafeon, not only in the UCS so far, but certainly not in Potato's hands. So I'm expecting big things out of them to take them off of Garchomp and Buzzwole.
Yeah, you're right. Ikelis just incredible on that Alolan Ninetales. But let me tell you what, Foxy on the side of MYS really giving them a run for their money last game. I thought they weren't crowned the MVP, but they were the MVP in my heart. Just incredible spacing and damage from them. As we get ready for this fight right here, MYS just in a perfect position to take this, and it looks like Peps isn't really going to be able to do anything about it. No, not even possibly look for a steal here.
Yeah, they're all over on the opposite sides of the map doing other things, so you have to think they're prioritizing stacking and think they can get back to this goal zone to protect it. They're trying to look to see where their opportunities are going to be. They closed a goal zone out, so certainly on the scoreboard, Marv in the middle trying to do what they can with the Perish song. The fact that they didn't KO is huge in and of itself. Credit to Human here, but a lot of points are going to be able to go in. Finally, 2 players are down. Mew gets credit for both, and MYS all over this goal zone, eh?
Yeah, they are moving in right here. Pokemon uniting, if you will. All 5 on one goal zone, just picking up KOs, shutting this goal zone down, getting their level lead back, and getting their point lead back right here, as it looks like Cali is no big. barely making it out of that fight.
You got to give credit to Froggy there. They're the only reason that Urshifu stayed standing. Caught the perfect wood hammer on the Dodrio. Not an easy thing to do, but doing big plays on the big stage, saving their carry.
Yeah, Team Peps, you know, they are down a game right here, so they really need to put something together and figure out a way to win this thing. They have a lot of burst damage, you know, incredibly, you know, aggressive composition here from them, but it has not paid off as of yet. They really haven't had any impressive fights, and they're going into a pretty tanky team. You've got a Trevenant and a Blastoise that they have to deal with somehow.
Yeah, I mean, their initial punch into their engagement is massive. However, they are into these enormous defensive Pokemon, you know, like Trevenant, like Blastoise, and it's just not having as much success as you'd think in other compositions without two defenders.
Nice little secure there for Cali, able to pick that up with the Drill Peck, looking to see if they can push something in, as 4 members of Peps are actually down here at the bottom goal, and Cali staying in at the top path right there has made 2 members of MYS have to defend it. Unfortunately, once again, Team Peps just really not able to find anything.
Yeah, they kind of missed an opportunity there. As soon as you see the Hoopa portal go down, not on the pad, you know the pad is cleared and they can't bring people through. That might have been when you try and siege here, but they actually play back. They're getting ready for this basement Reggie, and we're going to see if we're going to scrap it out on this one.
Yeah, and here's the question. I mean, there really is not a lot of mobility into this fight the same way there is on the side of MYS from Team Peps right here. We're going to see what they can do, because we know this Hoopa Unite can bring the team in at any moment. The question is, when do they want to do it, as they're actually sieging this top goal zone right now?
I mean, classic Hoopa play here. You've got your Hoopa with Unite. Oh, they jump on top and they actually force out the Unite move so they can't get KO'd. Trev Unite back the other way. They're going to see who they can catch, and it's just Marv in the middle. Hydro Typhoon doesn't catch anybody, but the follow-up on the push on the Trevenant as they try and poach 3 players. That's 3 players down instantly. MYS with a classic team fight there, able to get it done and take the basement Reggie for themselves.
And all the while, it looks like, you know, Team Peps wanted to worry more about this goal zone in the top path as they continue putting points in here for Dodrio. They are ahead on points at this point, but, you know, they are behind on every single fight that they run into. I got to call out what a beautiful play it was from the Hoopa on MYS right there. As soon as that Unite move came in from Leafeon, we have the Hoopa Unite right back to get those invulnerability frames for a moment right there and really eat a big chunk of that damage, so they did not take anything right there. Incredible stuff from Rebox.
Yeah, and actually the level disparity isn't as bad as you'd think based on how some of these team fights have gone. Cali, I mean, for a minute there was the biggest thing on the map. They're getting tons of points and they're up on the scoreboard just a little bit. And at this point, I think it's trying to find advantages where you got them. They cannot take a 5-on-5 right now just based on how their composition is. So they got to get clever.
Yeah, they need to get clever right here, but I'm worried about what could happen to them once this match goes to this Rayquaza fight. I'm just not sure what they're going to be able to do right here. Yes, they can take objectives quickly. They can move in and take some, you know, nice big KOs like we just saw right there. Really nice stuff from the Leafeon, but they have not been able to secure a ton of team fight wins.
Just a master of the blade coming through, getting a KO streak of 2, and now this Blastoise on the chopping block. Suddenly, we just learned a little something about potatoes. Leafeon. I don't know what kind of Leafeon, but those KOs are racking up, my friend. Holy smokes.
Incredible stuff there from Potato, and like you said a little earlier, we have not seen this Pokemon used competitively. And the real question is, what is Leafeon going to bring to this meta right here? And you can see just heading in with that Solar Blade, picking up some real massive KOs, even on a Blastoise.
I mean, tons of damage being rained in. I mean, that is their howitzer that they have on their side. The rest of their damage is a big pop, and if they can do it all in tandem, then they do have an opportunity. We just saw it right there. This Trevenant going down with 20 seconds left. They're down. That's another big-time KO. We were talking about defense and HP bars, and I'll tell you what, they're eviscerating MYS's right now in the late stages of this one.
Yeah, looking incredible right here at the start of this Rayquaza. Obviously, we have 10 seconds still Rayquaza. Reg Ice hits the bottom of the map, but nobody wants anything to do with it because there's a big important objective heading into this central area right here. This is huge for Peps. They need a win. They are ahead right now, but they cannot get caught out in a bad way in this fight. Leafeon cannot go down. Dodrio cannot go down to a mistake right here, or they are going to lose this thing. MYS is ahead 1 game, so they may take the aggressive position here and just start taking Rayquaza off the map. We're going to have to see what they can do while Blastoise is actually scoring in the bottom path. Dodrio scoring in the top path. Blastoise not able to put the points in, so Team Peps still ahead right now.
Mew on the hunt for Cali. Cali's still hiding out there at about 75% HP. They're going on. Marv is forced to retreat. They're going to engage with Hydro Typhoon and the Trevenant Unite, and the Reezer unbound. They're trying to stun everybody down. Rapid Spin Water Spout right on top of Ikelis. Ikelis gets buckled. So does Cali. They're pushing through. Hoopa goes down. There's 2 players down on each side. This is a great opportunity. 3 on the Trevenant. Can they collapse and can they make this damage happen? They're pushing. Come on, Solar Blade comes out. No, it's just an auto attack, and Potato's taking this thing over. Holy smokes! Now they're on top of Rayquaza. It's just the Mew. They've got the Electro Ball. They've lost their Unite move already. The Hoop is the first one back. Can they make anything? We've got to get this spacing out. I don't know why they're not finishing this thing, Spraggles. They hit for a reset. The Rayquaza solo. Everybody's in. Solar Beam comes through. Wow. The Solar Blade! What's a Solar Beam to a Blade Sun? Cut that Sunlight in half, and now Pep seal this thing up. They've got all the shields, and they've got a great opportunity to score.
And now they are going to be able to try to run some points in. They're already ahead on the scoreboard, so right now Team MYS has to not only score, but they have to look out for these shields. They want to stop every member of Peps while at the same time trying to figure out some way to score right here. Nice big play from Leafeon, but they're not able to make it in. Shield broken, huge wood hammer. Leafeon goes down, but Peps scoring in that bottom path and continuing the push, scoring in their main goal. With only 15 seconds left, we have Mew pushing towards the goal right now, but it does not look like they're going to be able to do it. And here comes another 100 points for Peps as they take game number 2.
Peps looking good. I love how Marv sandbagged in the middle. You send in Potato, who has a harder time scoring on themselves. If they get in, crystal clear, you're good to go. If they don't, well, you still got Marv hanging out, and that Lapras can get it done. They did. They scored some points. Hundo Burgers were eaten there, and Peps just even this thing up with a composition that is truly a Peps composition.
Yeah, incredible stuff there from Peps, and we wondered what was going to happen with that Leafeon. We didn't know if it was going to be a big difference maker. Early on in the match, it felt like it really wasn't putting in the work, and that's when you expect Leafeon to shine. But we saw huge moments as the game went on. We're going to throw this thing back over to Kello and Wonder Chef to break it all down. Take it away.
This is what I wanted to see from Peps. I'm so glad that we got to see them pull out an interesting comp, a fun comp, one that it just feels like they just get to run away with things and then make it work. And it felt like we were seeing a situation that was going to be really tough for them, but I feel like now in this set, they've got so much momentum.
Look, they have definitely run away indeed with this double speed, so you can see them obviously taking these objectives, but the main one, the Rayquaza at the end to just flip the switch. I mean, you can even see that we had that flat line from MYS at the end there.
Yeah, there was an attempt, but it's all you can do. Let's take a look at the damage once again, and you can see pretty evenly across the side of Team Peps. Another pick that I really want to point out there is of course, Marv playing on that Lapras, and still seeing a little bit more of that like kind of brawly type of Lapras. It meant that there was damage coming across the team in general, and it allowed Callie in particular to be able to finish off quite a few Pokemon with not that much damage. Let's take a look back once again how that happened.
Yes, and you can see this triple ambush on this Lapras just getting taken down. Oh my gosh, early game, you know, anything can happen, but my goodness.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like you need that many Pokemon to take down Lapras, I think. But this was just honestly a brawl of a match, just fights over and over. And I mean, hey, that is exactly what you want to do if you are Team Peps going into exactly this type of comp, right? It is going to be very aggressive, but honestly, from both sides. So I love the fact that we're going to see yet another Game 3. I feel like we've seen Game 3s actually every single time so far.
Look, the thing is, this is the World Championship, Chef. I feel like we are going to end up seeing a lot of round 3 situations here today. But even then, look at this team fight right here. Obviously, you have the Hoopu Unbound trying to get in those stuns, just chasing down each of these members away from Team MYS.
And here, this was the big moment. I mean, this was another really long Rayquaza fight, and this was scary. I was actually like kind of screamed right there. I was like, you can't leave me up, you can't leave me up. And then it was the Solar Beam in the end, which was a great call. Or I'm sorry, not Solar Beam, but Solar Blade. And that was a very scary situation. That could have easily gone either direction. You do not want to leave a Mew up of all Pokemon to be able to try to steal that secure, but they realized they just didn't have the time to do anything else. They took advantage of it, and they made it work.
All right, player of the game from this match, we do have Marv that was playing that Lapras, obviously being such a tanky Pokemon here. Having that experience share is key, especially when you're going in and getting chased down.
Oh, yes. And honestly, I was mentioning it before, but Marv playing is a little bit more brawly, I think, than we usually see from Lapras's now. Originally, that was such a great option. We saw some nerfs to Lapras. It became a little bit more supporting, actually defendery, but we kind of were seeing it kind of as an all-rounder or almost even an attacker for a little bit of the time. Marv's still playing a little bit of, I think, that soul of that play style, and it did work really well. So, for example, I mean, getting almost 50,000 damage with an EXP share, that's a good deal.
Well, that's the thing. They may be a defender connoisseur here, but I mean, they're the ones that are dishing out the damage. But obviously, that's the thing when you have all of those members from the opposing team just coming and collapsing out on you, and that water pulse, like, that's going to dish out that damage, right?
Yeah, honestly, with how strong defenders are right now, you know, we've been talking about the defender meta. I feel like you could make an entire team of defenders that is like a defender slash something. You know, you can have the support one with the Umbreon with a Wish. You could have an attacker one with Lapras potentially, or Blastoise is a great defender attacker. I get to see the whole thing go around. So players like Marv, who are a specialty for these kind of tanky choices, is they're going to be definitely flexing in this current meta. But now we go into game number 3, and we've seen some different strategies on both sides. Like I mentioned, I really feel like the flex to the double speedster from Peps is, and you look at this, you can see them. They're just kind of happy. They're not stressed. Like, they were down a game, and they're just still feeling it.
Look, that's the thing. It is only their first time on stage here. You've got to be happy. You've got to be relaxed. You cannot fold under that pressure, those nerves. You do not want them to get to you. But you can see all these smiles. It's lovely. Obviously, the team debrief here, trying to see what they're going to choose next, whether, once again, we'll end up seeing that double defender band, or whether we'll end up possibly seeing a sneaky speedster band.
I mean, the scary thing is, even if you ban one of the speedsters, there's still quite a few that are available, and then you give Team Peps the opportunity to kind of flex their other strong picks. So the draft currently is very difficult for every single team. The thing is, you can tell for sure that Peps, they're like, yeah, we were feeling this, it was working, we're good, and now it's time for you know, our opponents to be the ones to have to kind of readapt. After the first game, they were the ones who had to, but yeah, the mental game is going to be so huge here, and like you can see, they're just chilling. They're just feeling good. I do feel like if they get the opportunity to, they will probably go a somewhat similar comp. I don't think they're just going to randomly go something else, because that did work really well. But if there is, exactly like you said, maybe the speedster ban.
Well, that's the thing. There are just so many choices, so many questions. The roster that we have currently in Unite, you know, you might ban one, you might pick up one, but there's so many other things to fall back on.
That's right, but here we go. Draft for game number 3. One of these teams is going to be up a game again. Another one's going to be in a really tough position to try to qualify out of groups. And it looks like we are going to have the double defender ban. None of the speedster stuff that we've been maybe theorizing about, which does make sense. Again, there is some very strong double speedster play from Team Peps, but I think maybe there's a reason too why we're seeing the Umbreon ban from them. If they want to go that strategy again, they're not going to have to deal with mean look, especially if they do happen to go like Dodrio, for example.
But the thing is, obviously, because it is an Umbreon and Slowbro ban, once again, you leave that other strong defender on the table, and it ends up being Lapras going to the side of MYS this time around.
It is, and okay, what are we going to pick? We could see the Blastoise. That's another ZEUSAlpha pick. Okay, we're going to see this. I feel like this is going to be a really common first pick and then second pick scenario, where we're going to see the Hoopa and their Shifu picked up from a lot of these teams. It's just such a solid combo, and it fleshes out your team without giving away too much. Like, you can run these two with almost any other core of Pokemon in the game, and it will work out because they're just that solid. But on the other side, we're seeing some returns to old stuff. We're going to see the double defender here, actually, with the Trevenant. Not as common, I think, with the Lapras.
No, not as common, but you know what? Having, obviously, your Umbreon and your Slowbro taken out, it does leave Blastoise there, but you know what? Alolan Ninetales is going to the side of MYS once again. Yes, it may have got stolen last game, but we're going to take that back. Otherwise, look at this. We have Leafeon being selected again.
Ooh, and we might actually see a counter speedster on the other side. But yeah, just like you mentioned, two Pokemon now, Lapras and A9, both being used by Team Peps in the previous game, are going to go the other direction. Oh, and that, I actually like that Clefable pick. But we're going to see the Blissey, that as well makes a lot of sense to support that Zoroark in particular. But now, what's the final choice? Are we going double speedster again? Are we potentially going for this Venusaur? Okay, I don't know. Honestly, there could be anything here. They're free reign, complete free reign. You know what? Maybe not one beam, maybe the other beam. The Mew makes a lot of sense to me as well.
No, it definitely makes a lot of sense. He has so much potential with that Pokemon, and obviously we saw last game it just lurking around in the bushes trying to get that snipe. Obviously they didn't get that timing just right, but obviously the ability to just switch out those moves whenever you want. Well, I mean, there is that 20-second cooldown, so can't forget about that. But, you know, just having that hit is incredible. But you're going to have that obviously in that backline, I reckon, solar blading away. Or solar beaming away, and then obviously just this front line that they have, the Urshifu, the Snorlax, it's going to be hard to get through them.
You call solar beam blade, I call blade beam. It's just all sun rays in one way or the other. It just works out. But here we go. Back to some more normal comps. Game 3, once again, as Spraggles and Doobsnacks take us to a winner.
Oh boy, and a winner is coming here, Doobsnacks, as we head in here to game number 3 between these two teams. Obviously, so much is decided inside of this group stage by who wins any of these exchanges. This going to a game 3 is probably good for both MJK and TTV, because that's going to mean we've got some even scores across the board. But whoever wins this is in a power position inside this group. Really interesting composition once again from the side of Peps, where I'm looking over at MYS, and I really like what they're bringing to the table here. It looks extremely formidable.
What MYS is bringing to the table, incredibly formidable, but same with Peps. I mean, they took the goofy shoes off from game 2, they put on their loafers, and they said, it's time to go to work. Let's do something a little bit more normal here. And they've got, again, a lot of comfort picks on both sides for these teams. So it's going to come down to a skill factor, a coordination factor, and an execution factor.
Let me tell you, though, I like it when Peps has their goofy shoes on, because they do some really incredible stuff with it right here. So they are pushing towards a KO here in this bottom path. And a Pokemon that seems to get a lot of priority between these two teams is that Alolan Ninetales getting stolen back and forth throughout this series. Potato now already level 4, looking for some of those secures. Nice big pickup from the Solar Blade.
The range that this Leafeon has with that move is amazing. It allows them to stay at like mid-distance, out of trouble, doesn't have to go too deep to get those, and can poach a lot from the opposite side of the map. And I really think that's why Potato prefers it. Similar to Wesville when it poaches wild Pokemon and puts it on your side of the map. It does it without putting yourself up front and center.
You see Rebongs right here. It looks like they're hiding in this tall grass, waiting to decide where they're going to go. Possibly, no, they're grabbing the Speed Berry, heading down to this bottom path right here, seeing if they can pick up a KO. All that looks like it was taken on the side of Peps. And in the bottom path, it looks like it was just cleaned up and everybody went their separate ways. Everyone not engaging in a big fight yet.
Yeah, not at all. You know, finally taking over the Mew. That's Ikelis on the Mew, and they've had a great series in the Mew. Trying to engage. Did we catch the reset? We did catch the reset. No K openers quite yet. As we're moving through, and they're going to score. Solar Blade tries to stymie that. It doesn't quite work, but now they're getting collapsed on them. They're moving around here. Nice wicked blow for the engagement follow-up, and still everybody's standing right now. I can't believe no KOs have gone down. This might be the first one. Rebounds into trouble, and just a little pot shot to the jaw. The K opener over to Peps.
Yeah, incredible stuff from Peps as they picked up a Blissey KO as well throughout that fight. Potato able to make that happen here on the top path as points are now raining in. Leafeon heading on home, and no one's here by the bees except old Caligola as they take them all down. Oh, here comes the Blizzard Avalanche, taking the big one actually.
Taking the big one, but I think that's a fine exchange for Cali. Not getting KO'd, not having to scrap, getting 4 of the Swablu. You can have the Altaria. I'll move back to my side of the map.
And here we go, 7:40 on the clock right now. This is just a moment where extremely aggressive into the central area here of Peps. It looks like they're hiding and waiting for that buff, and now they're moving up to the top path here, looking to pick up a big KO on Leafeon, and they do.
They do, and they get it quickly. As I'm looking across the board, it looks like Peps has got the Las Vegas strategy of Season 1 going. 3 players to level 7 before the first objectives hit the map, and actually make that an upgrade. We've got Cali level 8. So yes, that was a great KO by Rebombs, but now we're starting to splinter this wood on the side of MYS as Trevenant goes down to who else? The Wicked Blower Shifu.
And here we go, actually almost a level 8 here for Leafeon. They do just tick right over, so they have this Unite moves. They move down towards Regice. Nice big race. They moving in with the Solar Blade as well, trying to pick it on up, but it's secured by the side of MYS.
That was a absolute collateral damage. Blizzard Avalanche smothered all of Peps, and after After that, it was
Snorlax in no man's land, getting taken down on the side now of MYS. Great fighting from MYS. Even with that Unite move coming in from Leafeon, they were able to take this. And look at that, Gold Zone going down with only a 3 overcap.
using the Unite move to get the Zorak. Big Wicked Blow comes through on the follow-up, and no Solar Beam from Ikelis can close the door on that. But here comes Potato. They want it, and they duff their Solar Blade, and they get KO'd for that effort. Yikes, Yamu able to flip the script quickly with a Perish Song and a nice little attack on their own side.
Yeah, MYS looking fantastic right here, getting out of a very sticky situation as Cali has found themselves the target now of MYS. 4 members of their team up here in the top path as they are pushing onto this goal zone. I don't know if the Solar Blades are going to be enough. Here comes the Bliss assistance as they push towards this fight, looking for Cali, and they find them.
Yeah, off what else but that Blizzard Avalanche combination. Everything, the key to the castle for MYS is this Alolan Ninetales. Foxy looking good again on the Fox, and they're getting it done. And now it's just absolute MYS pressure being put on Peps. And I hate to say it, they're not responding well.
No, they are not responding well. They need to do something about this Alolan Ninetales, but look at that iron wall on the side of MYS. A Lapras and a Trevenant just in the face of Peps, moving towards them once again. Huge wood hammers coming out, almost taking down Human, has to run away from this fight. And once again, Snorlax Marv is just, I mean, it's just such a weird position here for the team.
That is way past the front line, if you want to say so here. The Leafeon getting caught. Potato trying to make it happen, forced out the Unite move. They hit the button and they got deleted instantly. Not too sure what they thought was going to happen there. Nice little chip up by the Slowbro Unite. The fact that they're able to get that on Heavy Slam. Here's Hoopa with the big stun. This is an opportunity to flip the script. First player person down. Can they leverage that? They take the Regice downstairs. Zorak isn't here, but they have to keep this pressure on. You've got to get this Lapras down. You have to. The Perish Song is out, and the follow-up is massive. 2 players are down, and all of a sudden MYS doesn't even care about a Rings Unbound mythical Pokemon. We are pushing this thing.
MYS once again just pushing in the face of Peps right here, and it feels like you just cannot break this team as they are taking KO after KO on the side of Peps. Hoopa goes down before they are able to make it home. MYS dominating this match so far.
Yeah, what was fairly close 2 minutes in has skewed heavily in the favor of MYS. They're up on levels now. If they insulate themselves a little bit, don't hemorrhage any of that comeback experience we talk about to the hands of Peps, they're going to be in good shape.
Yeah, they need to do something right here on the side of Team Peps. They need to pick up a couple big KOs. Obviously, the targets are the Alolan Ninetales and the Zorak. It's going to be really hard to KO an over-leveled Lapras on the side there of Team MYS.
Yeah, one of the biggest characters not only on the map, but on MYS as well. Solar Blade comes through to keep that score from going in. That Perish Song has been hitting all the right notes. And of course, they have to collapse on top of it. They're only able to get half of Lapras's HP down. They, you know, cruise on out of there.
Yeah, they are able to just pull on out of there after a nice little fight. Not able to score any points, but they're up by over 100 right now. Peps is down, but not out. They have to figure out something here, though. It doesn't feel like they can win a fight.
Yeah, so we're talking about, you know, the strategy that Human uses when they're on the opposite side of the map to protect goal zones. That doesn't work as well when your team's this far behind. Now we need heals and we need you to help reset. Nice little Phantom Force into their own Hoopa portal to catch that reset themselves and buy some time. They decided not to come back through because right now they need to protect themselves and they need to figure out a plan in 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, this is really tough for Team Peps. It just feels like they keep running into a wall right here, and that's every tanky Pokemon on the side of MYS, while at the same time not picking up big KOs on Zorak, not picking up big KOs on the Alolan Ninetales. Something is going to need to happen for them big time in this final fight, or MYS has taken this series.
Absolutely. They're dealing with your Regieleki well. This basement Reggie is going to go to MYS for free, and all I'm looking at Peps is saying, what do you have in your bag of tricks? Because now's the time to pull it out here in the game 3 in the second match of the day.
They need a massive catch. They have to catch one of these 2 Pokemon. They have to catch Alolan Ninetales. They have to catch Zorak, or possibly catch Blissey before it throws that Unite move. It's just such a tough position for Peps to be in. Down by over 100. They may be able to make some sneaky scores happen, as MYS does not need to take Rayquaza off the map right now, but obviously you can see Peps is pushed all the way back into their central area as they're moving around looking to see who they can find on the side of MYS. The Trevenant knocked up right there, but safely healed up. A couple of big, delicious eggs, and they are right back to full health.
The thing that Peps has in their pocket is they do have stronger secure tools on their side. between the Mew, between the Urshifu, they can really find their way in and make it happen. But they got to start doing something because there's only 120 left in this one.
And you can see nice big boosted attack onto that Trevenant. But once again, they have the heals on the side of that Blissey. I'm wondering if they're trying to get rid of all those eggs, just see how much damage they can output before this fight actually starts. Cali possibly looking for a score here in the top half. No, moving into the central area, just getting some vision. They now see the Lapras here, and they know they're behind. They're going to need to make a play. There's only a minute left in this game, and Peps needs to do something. Here comes the Hoopa Unite move.
I think they're going to rip this thing. They're going for the background. Cali scored. They're going to be able to get this Hundo Burger in because Lapras is pulling. They actually jump through the portal before they do score. Everybody's smothering on top. Trevor Unite comes out. One player down for Peps. The push is going on. Can they catch Human? They do. KO Shrika 2, and they're going to keep going. Zora gets 3. They're going to move forward. Can they get another one? This Rayquaza is so low. We're going to go for the Secure. 4 players down for Peps. Are they going to get the whole ace to close this thing out? They're looking for it. Rayquaza goes down. KO Shrika 4. And you know, Spriggles. 10, Jack, Queen, King. Guess what, son? That's an ace, baby. MYS doing it in a big way here in Game 3.
MYS able to secure the ace, but they were not able to secure Rayquaza. That did go over to the side of Peps, but with no time left and every single member of Peps down, MYS is taking this thing. They win game number 3, and they are looking good in their group. MYS ahead.
What a show, what a show. And at that point, like you said, once you take everybody off the map, doesn't matter who has Rayquaza, you ain't getting any points in. You ain't there to put them in.
Just not enough that they could do in that moment. Obviously, Peps put up the best fight that they could, but it felt like they just kept hitting this wall of MYS. There really was nothing they could do to get through those defenses. They couldn't pick up enough KOs. They went for the Hail Mary, secure there on Rayquaza. Even that, after they got it, everyone was down.
The thing that is going to just chew at the heels of Peps for the rest of the day is Cali was halfway through their scoring cycle with that Hundo Burger before coming through the portal. They snapped through when they thought they needed to, where if they actually put those points in, it would have caused perhaps a different scramble, a different approach out of MYS, maybe putting them on the back foot and being able to leverage that. Hindsight forever 2020 Spriggles, and in this one, MYS has the foresight because they got themselves a big win in Game 3.
There we go. MYS fans in the crowd right there. Very, very happy to see this result as they go up 2-1 over Team Peps in this group stage. You take a look at our scoreboard right here. You can see MYS really ahead the entirety of that match. It felt like MYS's game to lose, and they did not do that.
Yeah, it almost feels like the first time we've seen that today, right? A team take it from bell to bell, take the lead, keep the lead, secure the lead, win the game. MYS getting it done. It took them a couple games to get that strategy locked in, but in Game 3, they certainly looked solid. Let's take a look at the numbers on this one here. Pretty good. Pretty good as we're looking across the board. Yemu as the Lapras leading the charge right behind Foxy, and that A9 was a big difference maker.
Yeah, I feel like the Alola Ninetales, it's interesting. Which side had the Alola Ninetales was the side that won each match. So obviously that was a power Pokemon for both of these teams. MYS in Game 1, Team Peps in Game 2. And then here we have MYS taking this thing here in Game number 3 with that Alola Ninetales. We take a look at some of the big moments throughout this match. Nice big catch there on the Leafeon.
Yeah, and it was really the MYS show back and forth. We saw short signs of life out of Peps here, but this was that big engagement that Team MYS was able to take, and it was off the back of the Alola Ninetales with the Blizzard Avalanche combination, chipping 3 players from Peps, and then Rebongs was able to step in and clean up all that trash.
Yeah, as we were watching this match, I just felt like I never saw an opportunity for Peps to come back here, and I really feel like they were completely outdrafted here in this game. It just feels like they were going into a team composition that was so incredibly difficult for them to deal with. If they did not get a massive lead early, they were going to be behind all game. They just really never found their moment here in Game number 3.
Yeah, we're just looking at that Hoopa Unite out of Human, and that was the beginning of the end to me. They used their Unite move. It was a 4-on-3. They get the stun, they get the first KO, and the Lapras comes up and turns everybody around, gets all the KOs. Come on. And here we have the attempt that you mentioned. but attempt is all we can actually call it.
I mean, look, Cali was able to get this secure. You see it here in this fight. They were able to jump in there. They get this final hit here on Reggie, but everyone is down. As soon as MYS saw that Peps was trying to rip this thing down, they turn on him. They go to fight. Massive Snow Globe Unite move from the Alolan Ninetales, and they take a huge victory right there. Obviously, they are feeling good. They didn't want that series to go to a game number 3, of course, because their record really matters here in this group, especially after we saw TTV head to a game 3.
Absolutely, and now it's going to come down to which team can actually run through the gauntlet of this group stage and secure this thing the easy way, which is a 3-0. Don't leave it up to tiebreakers. Don't leave it up to other results. Just go on and win these games. MYS kicking it off pretty right.
Yeah, they are. And now we can see right behind me, actually right there, Wonder Chef is on stage for an interview with Rebongs. Take it away.
All right, thank you so much, and congratulations. What a nail-biter of a set. That was been very stressful. I gotta ask you, does it have, or I should say, how much help do you feel it is to have that extra level of Worlds experience on your team?
I think it's the extra experience. I guess it helps me to calm myself, especially in like these types of games. Like you really have to be calm and try to adjust to the current situation. So yeah, I think it helped me a lot.
All right, makes a lot of sense. That was definitely a situation you had to stay calm in. I got to ask as well, there's been a lot of talk around every region that APAC is kind of the one to watch as the ones that can pull off the biggest upsets. How do you feel about your region in general, not just West or East, but maybe combined even?
Well, I guess I'll speak for our region. I honestly think that we have a very unique play style, and we just have to, don't be afraid. Like, take it out and just play our own way, and I think it will work against other regions.
All right, well, that makes a lot of sense. You did an amazing job. Congratulations to you and your team. Going to be continuing on in this group, a very difficult one as well. But once again, we are just through the first few matches of the day. They've all been amazing. They've all been close, and there's many more to come. So don't go anywhere, because we are going to be going to a short break and then returning with more right after this.
They're still playing in the middle. Auto goes down. TTV takes Rick waves up. Ender hops up. Ender tries to score. The points didn't go in. 64 points going for TTV. TTV wins it.
Welcome back to the Pokemon Unite World Championships here in Yokohama, Japan. Our group stage is well underway, and now we're going to see two more incredible teams on stage. Coming up very soon, we have S8UL Esports and Luminosity.
Look, we have talked about Luminosity being the world champs from last year. They have been on this big stage before, but S8UL, what are they going to bring to the table?
I can't wait. We don't have to wait too long, but we do want to have an update on Group G. I believe we have something we can throw up on the screen to take a look at and see where these teams are sitting right now. So Luminosity has yet to play their first time on the stage today, but Time to Shine earlier on the B stage. If you're checking that out on YouTube, we do have a B stage footage running there for you. But Time to Shine winning 1-0, putting S8UL Esports 0-1 so far in the group. They're looking to change that right now.
Now, this is going to be interesting depending on who comes out on top out of this match. Obviously, we do have Luminosity and Time to Shine that still need to battle out against each other, but obviously it comes down to this match first.
This is going to be such an important game. I mean, it feels like a cornerstone of the group. Of course, Time to Shine having a good start, winning 1-0 against S8UL, but now Luminosity needs to do the same if they want to keep pace with Time to Shine. And actually, after this match, I believe we have Time to Shine versus Luminosity. So we're going to see the conclusion of a group very, very soon already, which is very exciting. Of course, versus Luminosity. Of course, S8UL representing India, a region that we haven't talked too much so far on broadcast yet. We haven't had them on main stage, but here we go.
Yes, so over on S8UL Esports, we have Snowy, Rex, Badger, Kurem, and All Might. I wonder if they're going to be almighty today.
I'm excited to see the India smash. It's going to be fantastic to watch. I mean, this team has been really strong in terms of their region. They looked fantastic in their regional finals. They were dominant, had a great win, earned themselves their spot here at the World Championships. And we actually have a method to take a closer look at this team. Let's get to know them with this team profile.
Switch पे
अपने वालों को आदत नहीं है ना switch पे
We are team S8UL from India and we are here to try to perform good in Worlds.
As you guys know, we are also from the Asia region, which is known to be chaotic and do stuff
which
is not conventional to MOBA and which might not be the same for NA or EU. So it's the same way, but we are trying to adapt to the conventional style of MOBA as well. So we are trying to bring in more discipline in the team, but still sometimes you see those aggressive plays or the X-Factor kind of plays in the team. Anyways, so we are trying to balance both the stuff out.
So one word to describe
Might तो है ही नहीं इसमें.
Oblivious, RCS, disciplined, chaotic, and about
core of the team. Core, you can say.
So we have played a lot against Asian teams and we got swept in Asia Champions League.
इसमें
but now we
All Might है कौन? अरे All Might इसमें नहीं है.
In particular.
So winning this year's Worlds would be like a dream come true for us.
All Might तो
not only for our team, it will be also for our region also.
All Might का ना क्या हुआ सीन पता है क्या? All Might का ये नहीं आया.
Last year Worlds or this year Asian Championship. So it would be like a very big thing.
So it's our first time in Japan. We are very excited to
All Might का वो नहीं आया. अरे वीजा तो लेट हो गया.
The food,
ये लोग
the
जल्दी
people,
पहुंचे.
like everything.
तो इनका जो था वो हुआ.
Okay, so now we'll pick a random question from the hat.
All Might खेलेगा लेकिन
You
वो
have 10
अभी
seconds
इसमें
to
नहीं
name
खेलने
as
वाला
many
है. क्या
Pokemon
बोलते
that
हैं?
are in Unite as
मतलब अभी
you
इसमें नहीं इंटरव्यू नहीं है.
Absol, AG/, Tyranitar,
Charizard, Zacian.
All Might खेला तो पहला वाला मैच ये भी खेलेगा.
Clefable,
है ना रिपी है रिपी लोग ने सब्स्टिट्यूट के लिए रखा हुआ है.
Not too bad at naming the
तो All Might का तो बीटी हो गया ना. अगर पता नहीं है तो All Might इसके अंदर है कि नहीं मतलब ये वाले कॉम्प के अंदर. लेकिन All Might आया है. उसका एंड मोमेंट पे हो गया था. हाँ खेल रहा है वो देख ना वो कोपरे में. उस कोपरे में.
Gaming themselves the current reigning world champions.
Look, one note that I must point out is that balance. That is the key. Obviously, yes, you want to have those aggressive plays, but then it's also having that discipline to know when to pull back. So we're going to have to wait and see whether they do have that discipline and it's going to pay off.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to need to. You're going up against a team in the caliber of Luminosity Gaming or LG. This squad has looked fantastic. This year
Overlord
did
दूसरा
have
वाला है
an
ये
interesting
इंडिया है
one
ये
bad
बंदा
tournament, but other than that, a top 3
इसका बाप शायद
average
इंडियन
placement
है,
throughout
बता
the
रहा हूँ।
season, and of course a
मैं भी बता रहा हूँ
runner-up
इसके
finish in their
घर में कोई ना
regional
कोई ये
championships.
कौन है ये लड़का है कि लड़की है वो डामे तो कुछ इसको वाला एलियन लग रहा है
They of course won the World Championships in London last year.
Well, that's the thing. These are all
आँख किधर है
familiar
नाक किधर है
faces to
पता ही
us,
नहीं
not
ये रहा ना
only in that
Overlord।
specific region, but in the world.
Yeah.
So we have seen them time and time again. Obviously, as you said, yes, they did have that average top 3 there. You know, being able
इसके
to
घर
come
में से
second
पक्का
in
कोई इंडिया
regionals
से
is quite a massive
ये
feat.
इंडिया वाले बंदे इधर आके
Absolutely. And from
ये जब
winner side
हरकतें
as well,
करते हैं
so
ना
obviously a good start to the tournament run.
तो
I
ऐसे
think
ही
that
होता है
is a trait we could attribute towards Luminosity, starting tournaments out really strong, and then trying to push
भाई
towards
साटोल
those
की वजह से
grand
इनको
finals.
इनकी
S8UL
वॉचिंग कितनी
esports
गई
is a
है
bit more of
ये
that
10 ही है
question
लॉल
mark of a team. We don't have
लेकिन
as much
साटोल
information
का
on
चल
them,
रहा
but I mean they
अच्छी बात है,
obviously this is a must-win game for them. They are currently down 0-1 in their group. This is such an important match, and I mean it's a tough
S8UL
opponent
वर्सेस
to go
कौन
up
है
against, but
लुमिनोसिटी
you
बे
made it to the
पिछले
World
टाइम के वर्ल्ड
Championships. You
चैंप
know you're strong. It's time to prove
ओवरलॉर्ड
you're
की
in front
टीम
of everyone.
ओवरलॉर्ड नहीं
Well,
पता क्या
that's the
है
thing. It's all going to come
ये लोग
down
हंस के रहे
to that
इतने
prep.
इतने मजे में
Had
कैसे
they
चल रहे हैं ये लोग
prepped enough, knowing
हालात
these
खराब है इधर
who
ये लोग
they were
मजे में
going
चल
to
रहे
be
हैं
coming
सारे
up
बंदे
against,
अपने
had
फोन
they
पे
done
खेलते
their
हैं
homework?
Yes.
लॉल अभी
Exactly.
अबे अरविंद
Now, in
तू
terms of
सुबह
S8UL
सुबह आने वाला था
esports,
अकेला खा
there
रहा
is
है
a couple of
मैं
players
सुबह
that
पता
I
है
would really
5:30
like
बजे
to
उठ
focus
के
on, and I think
बैठा हुआ
first and foremost, it's
क्या
going to
कर
be
रहे हो
All
फटाफट
All Might playing a lot of the top path presence for this team, but is normally playing in that brawly defender style of gameplay. And we had a look at them at the start of our broadcast when they were playing a blastoise and had some incredible moves. Honestly, really dictated the pace of the game.
मैं पता है जब भी मैंने
More
माइक
importantly,
ऑन किया था
being
ना
in
मैं
key
सो
positions to
रहा
make sure
था
they win, and that win got them towards that
तो मैं
championship
जैसे
position.
सोल का मैच आया मैं
Well,
उड़
that's
गया
the thing.
अबे
Key
मैं
positions,
ऑफलाइन
and we have
देख
seen
रहा था
from these previous
अरविंद
matches,
की
it all comes down to that
अरे
positioning of your team
ऑफलाइन
and
देख रहा
everything
था
like that.
लॉल
मैं तो
Obviously,
इन गेम
these
देख
picks,
रहा था
that first section, the
स्पेक्टेट के
draft, that
इसलिए
is so
स्किन में लगा
important.
पड़ी गया
Yes.
Yeah.
अरे वो स्पेक्टेट करने से वो तो मिल रहा है लेकिन सीन ऐसा है कि वो मेरा चालू नहीं हो
तो वो चालू होने के लिए VPN लगाना पड़ता है लाइव के नहीं चलेगा
तो VPN लगाया था मैं मेरा
मेरा
वो
फोन
चालू
लगा
है
ना
1.1 वाला
Multiple players tell me that Overlord is the player they want to
तो
play
उससे
on
DNS
stage.
चेंज होता है ना
Every single
स्पीड
time
वगैरह
this
कब भी
player
होता है
carries
इससे
with them just this weight of a championship behind them, and then there's a fearsome presence in front of a lot of teams. Now, Luminosity, we talked about their season having a few ups and downs. However, the ups of this team look so good. When Luminosity is in charge and in control of a match, they truly look untouchable. It's so tough to come against the Luminosity when you're coming from behind because their steamroll presence is sometimes just too much to deal with.
Well, that's the thing. It's going to be their first game of the day. Have they got that steamroll presence, or is it just picking up that momentum to begin with? This is their warm-up round. They have to crack those knuckles and buckle on down, right? That's the thing. First game, yeah, you might get that momentum, but it's keeping that momentum going.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this is a tough group, right? Only 3 teams within this group for them to compete against. However, Time to Shine S8UL Esports are going to make very fierce competitors. Luminosity, though, are going to have to, work on some of those issues we saw in the regional finals, which unfortunately put them in that runner-up position, but they have had a lot of time to work on those. I think this is going to be the proving stage for it. Can Overlord take over? Can the coordination between them and Rin really be there? Can Curio step up into the attacker position? I honestly think this team is capable of all of that and more, but this is the time where they actually have to put it all together.
Yes, this is the time for it. It's their time to shine, to illuminate the stadium as we would. I feel like the name change there being picked up really reflects what their team presence is all about.
I think so. They're glowing already. They're glowing.
मेरे को लग रहा है वो ये खेलेगा
भाई जोरार चलेगा पक्की बात ग्रेविटी नहीं
मेरे को डोड्रियो या लूका लग रहा है लूका नहीं अपना वो डोड्रियो या फिर ये जोरो
किसका मैच है सोल और लुमिनोस
सोल और
भाई मेरे को दिख रहा है भाई रिजल्ट क्या आने वाला है
हाँ वो हो गया है
looking directly at them.
वो चीज तो फिक्स हो गई है कि हारने वाली
because of how impactful they are in the
लेकिन
game, but also their draft choices.
अभी
A lot of
predictions
Luminosity
चल
Gaming
रही है,
support
overlord
for
क्या
draft
खेल रहा
is very indicative of how the
हाँ
success
हम
of
लोग
their
उसके
team.
बाद
भाई गेम में प्रेडिक्शन तो हटा ही दिए गेम में तो हटा ही दिया भाई इन्होंने इंडिया के सर्वर में
कर देना क्या बोलते हैं सोनू भाई अभी उठे क्या नहीं वो ड्यूटी पे
It's going to be interesting to see what Luminosity Gaming thinks the best
अरे
approach
ये
to
मैच
playing
के लिए
a
हम
team
लोग ये
like
करते
S8UL is going to be.
But then that's the thing, you're going to have to prioritize those picks at the beginning. Which ones do you classify as more valuable? But also, it depends on what the other team ends up picking up first as well.
Yeah, S8UL Esports talked a lot about in their team profile video that we
हाथ
just saw a moment
दिखाता है
ago.
मार
Talking about how they'd like to bring a lot of unconventional things to the table, but also trying to learn the metagame as best as they can and play the power picks as well. And I think that's a great recipe for success.
भाई शकल देख लो
Be
भाई
prepared for the best and also bring in a little bit of spice. I think S8UL Esports is going to be trying to do that.
अबे मैं कौन सा जगह हुआ हूँ भाई
देखो पता है मैं जगह कब हूँ
हाँ
सुबह 5:30 बजे
But first things first, we need to find out who we are going to.
सुबह 5:30 बजे उठा हूँ
We see these members that are flicking over. We have a who
5:30 का भाई मैं भाई कितने बजे जगह मैं 6 बजे जगह
सुबह कब पता है क्या सुबह 3 बजे
Again, I talked about the top half presence for this India team, and I think that's really good. Leafeon would have best Pokemon hang out there. Lapras immediately selected for the side of S8UL, but Luminosity can respond in kind, grabbing the best attacker in the game right now in Inteleon and backing it up with one of the most infamous defenders we've had all season long in this level.
Look, it's definitely infamous. We have seen this Pokemon be banned time and time again. We've already seen it be banned today multiple times. So to be able to let Slowbro out, let him out of that jail, that is one Unite move you do not want to come across.
Absolutely not. And look at the composition that S8UL is
अरे जोरदार उठाया बल लौंडे ने
अब AoE healing works incredible
मैं पहले ही बोल दिया जोरार को उठाएगा क्लिफेबल नहीं हो गया अपोनेंट में
अरे क्लिफेबल है ओपोनेंट में बच्ची क्लिफेबल है ओपोनेंट में फिर भी उठाया उसने हाफ दिखाया सीन क्या है
ओपोनेंट में ब्रो
नहीं है लेकिन अरे ये लोग ने रेक्स को ये खिलाया ना अगर रेक्स को क्रैक कुछ भी करके ना ये खेलेगा मीनलुक 110% चीज फिक्स है
मीनलुक बैन नहीं है
मीनलुक बैन नहीं है कोई कुछ बैन नहीं है
यूट्यूब बैन नहीं है
अबे साले तू मैच देख रहा था बोल रहा था ना ऑफलाइन अभी ये लोग ये खेल रहे थे क्या बोलते हैं अपना आप
जेशन
नहीं जेशन भी खेले स्टार्टिंग से जेशन ही तो चल रहा था ऑलमाइट भी जेशन चला रहा था ये लोग ये खेल रहे थे क्या बोलते हैं अपना क्रैमो
अच्छा क्रैम तो बढ़िया पोकेमॉन है इस टूर्नामेंट
क्रैम बैन हुआ था बच्ची
क्रैम का वो जो मछली फेंकता है ना वो बग था वो 400 की जगह पे 4000 डैमेज दे रहा था
नहीं वो बग फिक्स हो गया है हो गया कब
इसलिए तो अलाउड है
वरना पहले बैन हो गया था भाई डबल से भी ज्यादा डैमेज आ रहा था भाई उसका यूनाइट में सबका गांड फटता था उससे यूनाइट चलती
यूट्यूब बैन नहीं है I mean, obviously you do.
Of course, we are ready to take it away because we are
Right.
approaching the reigning
World
champions here on the main stage.
Overlord को पकड़ने के लिए कितना कुछ
This is going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one. I'm excited to see this India squad here, S8UL.
ये
Of
बता
course,
वो
they
है
know what
क्या
they're up
बोलते हैं
against. They know who won the World Champions last year, and they also know the
Dobro
team's
है
history
इनके
of the World
पास
Championships and what they've done this year and what they're up against moving forward. Humble pie is a great thing to eat, and they are humble indeed, ready to show the world that they are not quite done yet. This is going to be a banger.
Ooh, I would love a piece of pie as we head in here to game number 1. S8UL Esports, your purple team. Luminosity, your orange team. We've got that Inteleon on the side of Luminosity heading down into Path, not playing it in the central areas. We've seen some teams do. And I have to wonder if they're going to be playing the snipe shot or they're going to be playing liquidation. From what I've seen, a lot of the teams, a lot of our Eastern teams are playing liquidation, and a lot of our Western teams are playing snipe shot. And I've got to say, I greatly prefer liquidation for this Pokemon. I think snipe shot's incredible in some situations, but I hope some of these teams start picking up liquidation because it's just such an amazing move for Inteleon.
Yeah, I have a tendency to agree here. What I really appreciated, both these teams actually sent their support players along with their central area player to make sure we had no crazy
N1 पे मैसेज कर दिया था भाई 48
Umbreon goes down, K opener over to Luminous.
हाँ तो
This is
क्योंकि
very,
मैंने
very
अरे मैं
scary
उठा ही
for the
तब
side of
था
S8UL. You have Overlord with a comfy collar. This is not good. We've seen
म्यूटू बैन नहीं है तो ये बंदा म्यूटू नहीं खेल रहा म्यूटू बैन है बाबा एक सेकंड रुक
किधर है यार
पता नहीं रहा आधे बंदे ही गायब है चैट 2 मिनट रुकने ठीक है ना मैं जरा सा ये ले कर दिया देख बस 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 अभी मैच इंपॉर्टेंट है अभी मैच इंपॉर्टेंट
from Slash after the big time Surf, and I'm surprised we didn't see Zug playing Surf earlier. Surf looks great to buy space and time for this team, specifically for Intellion, who needs a big
Overlord भाई अरे रेक्स ले लेगा उसको रेक्स खींच अरे बहुत हार्ड
S8UL interview that they like to play aggressive and flip the switch. They certainly flipped it there.
अरे भाई लेट गेम देखो ना कितना स्ट्रांग है
Yeah, nice job there from Rex, and I gotta say, a lot of this team
अभी साटोल ऑलमाइट के ऊपर है अभी
counter to what Luminosity is bringing. The question is,
अरे रेक्स इतना अंदर क्यों घुस रहा है
ऑलमाइट कुछ नहीं कर पाए फ्लो में नहीं दिख रहा था
S8UL going to do it right here as this Comfey Zoroark is just
अबे ये लोग लेवल देने जा रहे हैं भाई
Pokemon they can to pick up big KOs for the side of
फॉरेन के प्लेयर पता है बिल्कुल नहीं डरते भाई ग्रेविटी
It's quite literally on the hunt.
हाँ उसको अरे उसको वो डरेगा भी क्यों पहले तो पॉइंट ये है कि वो डरेगा भी क्यों उसके पास फुल वन साइड ये है क्या बोलते हैं ये निंटेंडो वाले प्लेयर के पूरा ऐसा एक्शन होता है
और भाई ओवरलॉर्ड का तो नया टैग लगी गांड फाड़ता है वैसे इतना बढ़िया निकलता बिना स्क्रीन पे
from Overlord, that would be amazing.
ये
Of course,
पता मेरे को
Overlord could also just eat you. I don't want to just eat you on up.
Yeah, I mean they're trying to look for space for Snowy, but of course now Overlord's just going in. I mean All Might's HP is below half. Snowy with the follow up at least make Overlord test their decisions here. Through that swap blue and Altaria, tons of experience here. Zoroark peels back. Elo hops off, hops back on, and what looked like a good opportunity for S8UL fizzles quickly.
Yeah, I mean just incredible stuff once again here from Luminosity. This is textbook
प्रॉपर भाई कैरी होता है पूरा
Luminosity on. They dive, they're aggressive, they go for tons and tons of
अरे वो पता है वो कास्टर भी बोलते हैं बे लिटरली ना कास्टर भी बोलते हैं भाई इससे क्या जमता है अरे बे लमाओ क्या तेरे को पता है कि लूटानो खेल रहा था स्नाइप शॉट क्या तोड़ रहा था कुत्ते की तरह मारा लूटानो ने लेकिन वो लोग बीटी खा गए नहीं टीटीवी में अबे टीटीवी दिक्कत खाई ये मरने वाला है ओ भाई भरती ये मर गया ओवरलोड गया मर गया ओवरलोड गया अटक गया बे वो उसके अंदर बहुत हार्ड बे म्यू खेल रहा है भाई म्यू खेल रहा है कौन है म्यू अरे सटोल बादशाह खेल गया भाई लेकिन भाई है ना अरे वो किधर टेढ़ा मेढ़ा आड़ा टेढ़ा जा रहा है किधर जा रहा है अरे फिर से अटक गया ओवरलोड को फिर से भर दिया ओ भाई ये भी ठीक है लेकिन वो पीछे से टिचकी दे रहा है ना एक अबे टिचकी पोकेमॉन बकवास है भाई अरे नहीं वो टिचकी अकेला बकवास है देखो मालूम है क्या वो टिचकी बहुत ही टैक्सी टैक्सी
नहीं रे वो अकेला घुसा पड़ा है ना ओवरलॉर्ड के पीछे से कोई मारने वाला नहीं है पिछले वाले को उसका ओवरलॉर्ड को टारगेट कर रहा है उसका बहुत टाइम जाएगा
अरे लिपियन डैमेज वो लिपियन बोल रहा है इंटेलिजेंट डैमेज देता ही है रे पीछे से वो साला टिचकी पे टिचकी मारे जा रहा है कब से
टारगेट होता है ना तो भाई इतना बुरा टारगेट होता है जैसे तो भी खराब
हाँ लेकिन अभी वो पिटने का काम एक बंदा कर रहा है ना उनका कोई मेंबरशिप स्पॉन्सर कर दो अरे माइट ने ले लिया लॉल भाई खींचा है भाई अपने बंदे खेल रहे भाई मजाक है क्या नाइस वन भाई क्या मतलब लैन वाले इसमें आके खेलना चालू कर दिए लोग
माइट क्या खेल रहा है और क्यों है
लैप्रस
अच्छा मेरे को और क्यों खेल रहा है उसी को कौन खेल रहा है
when you have a team like LG that's been on stage so much on stream so much I mean there is a lot of history to look through and comb through and figure out what their favorite comps are their default
ये राइन नाम का बंदा भी इंडियन ही लगता है उसके घर वालों में से पक्का कोई इंडियन
and they're able to cobble all that together and put together
अरे वो टिचकी कितना डैमेज दे रहा है भाई एक टिचकी में उसने आधी एचपी खाली की
so many tools to shut
एक्चुअली इन लोगों का टीम कॉम्ब बहुत बढ़िया है, पता है सोल वालों को एकदम प्यारा टीम कॉम्ब है भाई, बहुत प्यारा टीम कॉम्ब है। बहुत ये प्यारा टीम कॉम्ब। वो लोग ने अम्ब्रियन वगैरह उठाया ना, साला अम्ब्रियन को कौन कैसे मारेगा, पॉइंट तो ये है।
देखो वो अगर 13 लेवल की लेप्रस होगी ना लास्ट के अंदर भाई मरेगी नहीं, वो कितना भी दम लगा।
अरे बहुत हार्ड, अच्छा भाई जॉड हो गया, सिक्योर दे, इंटिलियन गया, खत्म। बादशाह एक और निकालेगा, बादशाह ले लिया ले लिया ले लिया। वो सर्फ नहीं खेल रहा है, सर्फ नहीं खेल रहा है, म्यू ने 2 लोगों को लिया। ओ भाई गंदा तोड़ रहे लोग, मेंबरशिप खत्म होने वाला है। हाँ हो जाएगा भाई, गंदा तोड़ रहे वो नहीं, लेकिन बादशाह को दे दिया उसने, बादशाह को दे दिया। अभी एक और को पड़ गया, एक और को पड़ गया, स्नोवी भी मर रही। नाइस गया, खत्म खत्म खत्म। भाई ओवरलोड क्या टूट रहा है भाई।
भाई पता है मैं कल भी बोल रहा था भाई कि पता है ये क्लिचर तो कोई नहीं खेल रहा है बाहर के टीम में, बस ये इंडिया वाले खेल सकते थे, कोई नहीं खेलता।
हाँ तो अरे बाहर की टीम वाले नहीं खेल रहे, इसका मतलब वही थोड़ी है। अगर वो लोग दिक्कत दे रहे हैं तो खेलने में क्या प्रॉब्लम है। हम लोग को उससे क्या लेना देना है कि वो लोग क्या नाम रख रहे हैं, हम लोग को तो निकालने से मतलब है। टीआर नहीं गए क्या इसमें? अरे टीआर नहीं निकालते भाई, ये सब चीजें में टीआर नहीं आती। टीआर तो बीजीएमआई में भी नहीं चल रही है, लास्ट चल रही है बीजीएमआई। अगर कोई बीजीएमआई देख रहा है चैट में तो उनको बताओ कितने लाइक हुए, वैसे कितने लाइक हुए भाई ये बताओ। बरोबर फटाफट फटाफट ठीक
है, लाइक करना ही भूल गया शायद
साले। अरे वो उसको मार रहा है भाई लॉल वे, वो अम्ब्रियन को मारते बैठा है ओवरलॉर्ड, उसका डैमेज ही नहीं आ रहा है भाई अम्ब्रियन को मारते।
फाइनल वाला तक नहीं पहुंचने दे रहा उसका मिल लो, बहुत दिक्कत दे रहा है।
अरे रेजिली की ले लिया, बढ़िया, मेरे को लग रहा है माइट स्कोर कर देगा। एक और लीड में, बहुत हार्ड।
वो मरेगा कैसे?
अरे वो बच तो गया है लेकिन अरे गंदा कर दिया, अरे बहुत गंदा। रेक्स मर गया, ये मर गया, लैप्रेस उधर है, खत्म कल्याण। निकाल दिया क्या? अरे बहुत हार्ड, बहुत हार्ड। ए माइट भाई, माइट दो सेवियर।
अरे देखना भाई उनका टीम में डैमेज क्या बोलते हैं, लमनास्टी का कौन मार सकता है माइट को भाई, इतना ही स्टाइल फीलिंग है
भाई। 14 लेवल का है वो, कौन बोला 13 है भाई, 14 लेवल का बैठा है वो। अरे माइट द सेवियर भाई, माइट द सेवियर, लेट्स गो। घंटा मारेगा वो किसी को, उसका डैमेज हमें नहीं आने वाला है किसी का। भर दिया
भाई, जोरवार का पूरा कॉम्बो पड़ चुका है उसपे।
अरे जोरवार का उसके पास हीलर है साइड में, उसके बाद एक रेक्स है वो बैठा हुआ साइड में भाई, उसको कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है किसी को।
कितना डैमेज पड़ रहा है भाई लैप्रेस को, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा उसको।
स्नोवी को एक्चुअली ये लोग ना स्नोवी को मारने का ट्राई कर रहे हैं लेकिन कुछ फायदा नहीं हो रहा।
अबे लीड में भी नहीं है ना पर ये लोग।
अरे वो जा रहा है, गोल करने जा रहा है, वो
डिफेंड कर रहे हैं पर
वो गोल करने जा रहा है। अरे वो बैठा हुआ है डिफेंड करने को भाई, तो क्या प्रॉपर बैठे हुए। अरे जाना 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 जाना, बहुत हार्ड, 3 बंदे गए। अरे जॉड हो गया, लेट्स गो बे। म्यू ने ले लिया, म्यू ने भर दिया। ओ भाई क्या प्रॉपर मैच है बे।
लैप्रेस क्यों जस्ट जीते पता है, ये लैप्रेस पूरा इतना टैंक कर रहा है डैमेज
भाई। लैप्रेस माइट कैरी ब्रो, उनकी टीम में ल्यूमिनोसिटी वाला वो है, हमारी टीम में वन एंड ओनली साटोल माइट। लेट्स गो साटोल माइट। जॉड है क्या भाई?
Can you believe it? The World Championships in Yokohama delivering early in this one. S8UL looking to prove something. Knew what their track record was, and I'll tell you what, this is a race after a roaring start. Incredible.
भाई वो लोग ने जो लैप्रेस लिया ना, बेस्ट पिक था उन लोग का, बेस्ट। प्यूरे चाइनीज
from the side of S8UL did something to shut down Luminosity. We're going to send this thing back over to Zoinks and Kello right here.
उन लोग हम पहले से वैसे
An insane game number
हारने के बाद और छोटा हो गया
हाँ ना भाई सोल ने ऑलमोस्ट हर टाइम ये लोग लीड में थे यार पॉइंट ये हर टाइम ऑलमोस्ट लीड में थे ये लोग लैप्रस नहीं लैप्रस ने पॉइंट क्या है मालूम है क्या लैप्रस जो इन लोगों ने लिया है ना इन लोगों ने टैंक बहुत लिए टीम के अंदर साले 4 टैंक लिए टीम के अंदर और एक है जो सिक्योरर है जो कि म्यू है अरे क्या प्यारा खेल है और वो म्यू भी बादशाह है
Can I just say they are making themselves known.
भाई बादशाह का भाई जिसने ज्यादा टैंक किया ना जो नहीं मरा भाई वही जीत गया।
अबे ओवरलॉर्ड पता है ओवरलॉर्ड इसमें भी 1 लाख डैमेज दिया माइट का 98 के माइट का डैमेज अबे साटोल माइट तो है भाई क्या
लेवल 11 में का पेरिस्टॉक के बाद हर एक पेरिस्टॉक के बाद बूस्टेड आता है ना
हां और वो 14 लाख एचपी हो जाता है उसका भाई
अरे उसने क्या किया पता है उसने वो इंटिलियन को पिक ऑफ कर दिया यार अगर इंटिलियन बचता ना वो एक को टिचकी दे देता टिचकी वन साइड एक दिया दूसरा दिया तीसरा दिया
चलो भाई तुम जा रहे हो
इतना सुबह और 2 मैच बाकी है
Now we can obviously see the issue getting taken down here. The defenses that they were putting on up, being able to take down and shut down that Inteleon earlier on.
So good. I mean, Kello, though, I was asking it in the draft.
इस चीज का हाईलाइट आएगा भाई हाईलाइट आएगा बहुत हार्ड
हाईलाइट बहुत बोरिंग लगता है ये जल्दी मैच नहीं दिखाते
नहीं अच्छा अरे मेरे चैनल पे आएगा बच्ची मैंने फिर के ऑन क्यों किया
actually dodging back down the path with about a third of their HP remaining. That happened so many times. LG was really struggling to close knockouts unless they were
acrobatics लेते ना ये acrobatics तो भाई कुछ हो भी सकता था बहुत डैमेज हो जाता
अरे उसने टिचकी लिया है वो अच्छी बात है लेकिन टिचकी का क्या सीन हुआ मालूम है क्या उसका एम लगना भी तो चाहिए ना उन लोगों को ऊपर सारे एम लग ही नहीं रहे वो लुटानो पता है लुटानो को क्या एम लग रहा है देखो मालूम है पहला मैच में ना लुटानो ने KO5 किया वो टिचकी से वन शॉट
पता है कंटीन्यूअस डैमेज नहीं देता एक साथ ही बस्ट देता है पता है
अबे उस बंदे ने सोलो खींचा है भाई सोलो खींचा है
किसके सामने था मैच किसके सामने था पर
नहीं लेकिन वो लोग हार गए एक्चुअली फिर भी लेकिन उसने सोलो खींचा वो किसी के सामने था भूल गया हाँ मतलब पहला मैच जीते लगातार 2 मैच हारे ऐसे कुछ तो हुआ एक्चुअली सारे मैच उन्होंने डोमिनेट किए थे लेकिन फाइनल फाइट का पीटी हो गया
किसके सामने था पर मैच फाइनल फाइट कैसी थी भाई अपोनेंट
I'm really excited to see how they play.
पहला मैच था MJK के साथ MJK अरे जैशन वाला वो है क्या बोलते हैं लगातार 3-4 मैच जैशन चल रहा था पता नहीं देखो MJK वालों ने भी लिया उसके बाद सोल वालों ने भी लिया फिर गिन चुन के सारे बंदों ने कर दिया
Yeah, तो जैशन दिखते तो मजा
Weird,
नहीं आता
क्या लगता है
that final second to just launch in and defend the goal zone was huge. And I mean this
भाई स्लो ब्रो बैन देंगे
so interesting. Luminosity with their backs against the wall.
सोल को बैन नहीं दे रहे क्या
स्लो ब्रो को
that slow bro ban. So something I'm really excited to see from them. I think that double defender was too much for them to deal with. Now you're going to give yourself
मैं बताऊं क्या होगा स्लो ब्रो बैन देगा फ्लिपेबल उठाएंगे शायद मेरे को लग रहा है बहुत तेज
But the thing is, which of the stronger defenders are they going to choose? Are they going to choose Umbreon or
अरे लैप्रेस उठा ली लॉल
That was my choice.
No delay at all.
That was my choice, so I'm glad to see they are thinking of the same mind. However, Inteleon could be stolen away from Kyrios. I'm interested to see what
स्नोई ये खेलता है इंटेलियन पे
into that bottom path.
अपना वो
के लोड़े लगेंगे भाई अगर टैंक टीम हो ना
नहीं अगर अरे स्क्विशी खेल रहे हैं मां कसम
भाई खत्म है भाई
खत्म है ये मैच गया
देख सारे काम जोरार के
जितने
खाली वही उन्होंने
अरे जोरार के जितने मैंने काउंटर पे वो उठाई लेकिन सीन अरे लेकिन अभी तक क्लिपेबल बच्चा है
ZEUSAlpha अकेला कितना ही कर लेगा पता है सोल रेक्स के साथ
अरे अरे उसने वो ले लिया ओवरलॉर्ड ने मेरे को मालूम नहीं क्यूरम क्या खेलने वाला है लेकिन पेड़ वेड लिया है लोगों ने
बस सरीना सच में
नहीं अरे वाटर और शिपुले क्यूरम ने ले लिया भाई वो तो लेना ही था भाई क्लिपेबल
भाई रेक्स के साथ में भाई कल परसों खेल रहा था मजा आया था भाई काफी बोट लेन पे ये पता है भाई एक गलती पता है क्या हुआ इनका LG वालों को इन्होंने कॉम्पी दी क्लिपेबल उठाना चाहिए था
नहीं फायदा अरे हाँ कंपनी की क्लिपेबल उठा तो फिर अरे लेकिन एक बंदे के लिए कैरी है भाई एक बंदा कैरी करने वाला है तो उनको क्या फर्क पड़ता है
देखो बादशाह तो भाई अगर 9 को टारगेट नहीं कर पाया ना तो वेस्ट है क्योंकि ये LG उसके साथ ही रहेगा
देख के तो लग रहा है कि भाई अगर वो चल दिया ना
Final team fight, I think, is going to be the biggest point in this matchup around that Rayquaza pit. It's going to be very, very interesting. But of course, we have our two casters waiting to take it into game number 2. Sprinkles and Dubesnacks, bring us in.
We're heading into game number 2 right now, and can you believe it? But S8UL is up 1-0 over champs right here, Luminosity. I felt like every single pick in that first game was a counter pick. Now that I look at game number 2, though, I'm loving the composition from Luminosity.
Yeah, it's really solid. I mean, it's pretty much However, you have to know that when you make these choices of Leafeon and Teleon back to back, that you're opening yourself up to compositions that you're clearly familiar with.
देखो पता है कब से कर रहा हूँ 3.5 घंटे हो गए 4
Trevenant is a great defender.
अबे सुबह 5 बजे कर रहा है
तू like it's a couple rungs down from what we're seeing on the side of Luminosity.
भाई इन्वेड आ गया लंबा
Rex coming in for the early invade, able to
भाई ले
take
गया
that
ब्लू
away. We have multiple
अरे लॉल
members here
अरे
of
लेके
Luminosity
अरे
pushing them back. Nice.
अरे बच्चा लेट होगा अभी बच्चा लेट बड़ा होगा बे
It's all about the
बॉटम पे भी गोल कर अरे कसम भाई
बॉटम पे उसके दो
बॉटम पे भी उसके 2 स्टैक हो गए इधर भी हो गया माइट के भी स्टैक हो गए अरे क्या कर रहे हैं लोग
माइट के तो होंगे स्टैक तो वो बज़ोल से लास्ट हिट
अरे लेकिन उनके ऑलमोस्ट सारे पोकेमॉन पे स्टैक खत्म
pressure onto the other side of the map.
Nice mean look there from Slash.
Solar Blade खेलेगा नहीं
Some big moments of that. We're gonna obviously have
Solar ही खेलेगा
catch the
obviously
Inteleon, catch the Leafeon out with a move like that. As we have a fight ready to break out here. Overlord here in this bottom path, and they are going to keep jumping on in and look for some KOs right here. Nice big mean looks puts Leafeon in some trouble. Not able to get the KO, but they are able to start scoring.
Yeah,
Overlord नहीं मरने वाला
get some points in. I like the heads up play.
अरे लोग ने अर्ली गेम थोड़ा सा कोई किया लेकिन
give them KOs on top of this goal zone because they're going to get either
टैग तो हो रहा है नहीं रहता भाई इतना बढ़िया हो जाएगा भाई
giving themselves an opportunity to fight another day.
हाँ अर्ली गेम बहुत जल्दी मतलब यही किया उन लोगों ने अरे ब्लू बफ लेके आए
भाई वो दोनों इन्वेड पे भी गए लमाओ भाई
Let's not do that anymore. Here we go. Buzzwell
Might
gets tons of pressure on. We got a little 3-on-1 as of course Overlord's carrying the
late game कितना टाइम के भाई
the K opener goes over to LG that they are
अगर एक्रोबैटिक्स नहीं लिया ना तो बहुत टाइम के भाई
it is not leaving that play.
नहीं वो ये खेलेगा क्या बोलते हैं पिचकी वो क्या बोलते हैं उसको लगातार मारना है
हाँ भाई ये एक्रोबैटिक्स
हाँ तो वही उठाने वाला है वो वही खेलता है स्नोई लगातार वही खेल रहा है जब इनका पहला मैच भी था ना वही खेल रहा था
LG को भी यही खेलना था लास्ट वाले मैच में यही खेलना था फिर पता है भाई आराम से मेल्ट हो जाता लेफ्ट
अच्छा ये चिपकी और क्या है
एक करके देते हैं
मरने वाला है
sort them out and there goes Slash quickly. Umbreon gets buckled, no questions. Here's my question to you, Spraggles. Is LG doing enough with the advantage that they have right now to cause the pressure that they need? They're down on the scoreboard, and it kind of seems like S8UL are just hanging out.
And here we go, though. LG moving on here, looking for a KO on this Inteleon.
लेकिन सुनोई इसको मारना चाहिए ये भी मरने वाला है
but I don't think that's going to be enough. Very intelligent play, but
भाई
unfortunately,
ओवरलॉर्ड
around to save.
तोड़ तो रहा है, no doubt. गंदा तोड़ रहा है वो.
Late game overload कुछ काम नहीं आएगा ना.
As Slash is trying to get some time. One thing I want to mention, you said that Trevenant is kind of down on the defender tier list. I'll tell you what, we saw it earlier today. Hagu King's Trevenant looked phenomenal, and maybe that's just a little code that was cracked on the east side of the world that says, you know, Trevenant is actually a higher prio than you all give it credit for.
We do have liquidation on this Intellion
इसका
here.
पता नहीं liquidation का damage क्यों नहीं आ
It's
रहा.
technically not Intellion, which I thought it was, but I guess it's intelligent. So we'll see how that
नहीं अम्ब्रियन को देना चाहिए
path
शॉट.
right here. Great spacing here from S8UL as they are
ये
on
तो मिल
top
गया
of this
भाई.
Registeel. Looks like they're going to be able to
Overload
secure
के
not
stack
much
होंगे
below the
bench
Ninetales
top
is
line
able
पे.
to do right there. However, on the top path, LG
भाई
is putting
ओवरलॉर्ड का
some
वही है,
pressure on
तो
that
क्या
goal
फर्क
zone.
पड़ रहा है.
Well, that means Overlord isn't here. So
जब तक उसका लेवल बढ़िया से हो रहा है वो कैरी कर
they're
लेगा.
going to get as many points as they can. Slash is getting pretty low. We've got
ये
an
बड़ी
engagement here
overload
as the Slash quickly goes down. There's still
कितना
4
ट्राई
players
हार्ड कर
in
रहा है वो
the
डिफेंड
face of
करना. वो देख
Curious.
लैपर
He's
सही
trying
बात
to
करेगा
get
इनको
Lapras
बहन
pulls
को
up with
अब
the big
फटेगी.
fairy ride gets a KO, and all of a sudden the pressure swims in the face of SAU.
भाई वो राइन ने भाई क्या बढ़िया डिफेंड किया भाई. नाइनटेल्स में देखा तूने कितना टाइम बाय कर लिया.
Pick up a ton of KOs.
आ गए भाई.
बेस तो तोड़ दिया अलग से और ये भी कर दिया. ओके अभी बस
मेरे हिसाब से गेम में अब तक सबसे ब्रोकन अभी सबसे ब्रोकन पता है लैपरस ही है भाई. सबसे ब्रोकन इतना एचपी है उसका मर ही नहीं सकता लेट गेम अगर ज्यादा लेवल
And now Rin with the confidence to play into the jungle.
लाइक करो तुमने फटाफट वरना फिर अपन फ्री में
SAUL going to get themselves a
ये
buff
ले
and
लो.
cruise away with it. Is now SAUL
भाई एक ही बंदा एस नाम का ही देख रहा है वो.
Here we go. Luminosity
तेरे को
doing
नहीं
what they
दिखा
do
रहा है
best, running
तीन है
up the
टोटल.
score lead a little bit here in this bottom path, trying to see what they can make happen as Overlord is able to head through
टीम
the
में से तो एक
flux
तो खुद ही
zone of
होगा
S8UL
और एक मैं
and get
हूँ.
out of this situation. Nice big KO in the top path as well
मेरा
for
खुद का ही अकाउंट मेरा मेन
Luminosity as
अकाउंट
they're
है
taking control here
तो
in
उसका
game
अकाउंट
number
नहीं
2.
होता.
They absolutely are. Tons of KOs into the hands of Curios, especially after the Lapras crash down to the bottom paths. Quickly, Rex is going to try to get their 17 points in. Slash buying time to see if they can trap them and engage.
Incredible stuff here. Nice big avalanche blizzard. But you can see S8UL still very much in this game against the world champs. If
वो
you're
लोग अच्छा
just
खासा ट्राई कर रहे
playing
हैं.
us right now, they've already taken one game off them here in this group stage. Earlier, Tube Snacks was saying intelligent.
इन लोग ने अगर सिक्योर ले लिया ना एसएटीएल वालों ने,
Did not say that.
अरे जो ही लुमिनोसिटी ट्रोल होगी ना मजाक से हटके एसएटीएल एमजी वो एमआरजे वालों से हार गई और इनसे जीत रहे. पकड़ लिया ओवरलॉर्ड को पकड़ा. बड़े अल्ट सारे अल्ट पड़ गए उसको सारे अल्ट पड़ गए भाई. खींच लिया गया ओवरलॉर्ड गया. ये लैपरस अभी भाग रही है. नहीं अरे लैपरस नहीं जाएगा पर ये तो चला जाएगा ना. क्या उसका नाम है? अरे भर दिया.
स्नो भी जाएगा. ये दोनों जाएंगे. मार नाइस. ये भी जाएगा.
लैपरस एक टाइम पे कितने लोगों को मारने वाला है? नहीं लैपरस में मर जाएगा.
नहीं मर सकता है लैपरस. अंधा पोकेमॉन
मर गया.
घंटा मरेगा घंटा.
नहीं मर गया.
अरे मर गया.
लैपरस का वो था ना.
इतना टाइम बाय किया भाई. मेल्ट कर लो ना भाई. क्या करें? मिल लो के
अरे ये निकला क्यों? अरे माइट क्यों निकला वहाँ से? ओवरलॉर्ड मेल्ट कर रहा है. सिक्योर आ गया भाई. सिक्योर आ गया. बादशाह द बॉय सिक्योर.
Instantly pivoting because you know Overlord wants the KOs, they want the numbers, they're going for the engage, they use
बादशाह की
that
दुकान
action
मार
and
ली.
they get it quickly as the rest of LG shows up.
मारा भी
2
कंपनी
players
ने.
down, and that's a basement Reggie to LG.
Unfortunately, that Leafeon just showed themselves way too early there in that moment. They probably could have got a decent steal away from Urshifu.
14 का हो जाएगा पता है लैपटॉप में को लग रहा है काम कर रहा है.
However, great fight there from Luminosity as they are continuing to put the pressure on, way ahead on the scoreboard, and they are way ahead on experience as well.
One thing I'm keeping note of is Snowy is level 13, and they've been incredibly silent this game, whereas they were incredibly active all over the map, getting in the face of the opposing team. So it clearly favors them to level up in this instance. SAUL is trying to insulate that Intellion and let them take over in the last throws of the game.
कर देगा उसको 50 तो बोल हो जाएगा.
If they're able to make it happen, and they are bringing them up to 215. However, they are still behind right here. Another possible.
अरे उसको डैमेज ही नहीं पड़ रहा है यार.
Looks like Leafeon is actually going to make it out, but Intellion is not. We also saw in the top path a moment ago, Dupsnax.
ओवरलॉर्ड को भी नहीं पड़ रहा है. ओवरलॉर्ड को भी नहीं पड़ रहा है.
On that
मेरे साथ
Buzzwole,
सबसे
so they are
broken
not
पोजीशन
going to
लैपटॉप
have
है
that
अभी गेम
moving into this Rayquaza fight
भाई
here
कतई
in
भाई
10
इतना टाइम
seconds
के
as
मर ही नहीं
LG
सकता
Luminosity needs
एक बार
this one, or
14
S8UL is
13
going to
लेवल
take
का हो
out the
गया
world champs.
देखो 14 लेवल का हो गया भाई
Finally
गांड
off
फटेगा
spawn, and it looks like LG is taking a very aggressive position here. They're going to try and jump on whichever path that S8UL tries to engage. Now, Luminosity doesn't need to touch this Rayquaza.
No, Luminosity does not need Rayquaza right here. What they want is a big fight and a big win. Nice grass knot right there. Buzzwole trying to make something happen as they pick up Overlord here, and this fight starts.
The Buzzwole Unite comes out. They need to convert Trump Unite as well. They're trying to follow up. Overlords in the back line. They use their Unite. They're like in a ton of hits, and SEO has 2 players down. Buzzwole still standing.
किसको मारेगा किसको नहीं वही तो दिक्कत है ना भर दिया भाई ओवरलोड पूरा निकाल के
लैपटॉप देख रहा है भाई फुल एचपी अभी भी
अरे वो लैपटॉप की दिक्कत तो देगा ही ना
Yeah, they are on the hunt, looking to pick up that Leafia, not able to
दोनों
make it
टीम के
happen right
अटैकर
here.
निकल गए थे
We're
पता है
going
फाइट
to have
चालू
a
होते ही
refight from the side of S8UL. We saw a couple Unite moves not get used here.
अभी तक में बचा हुआ है लेकिन ओवरलोड अंधा दूं घूम रहा है किधर भी
हो गया एलजी वाले लीड में वो कुछ नहीं करेंगे सोल की तरह बैठे रहेंगे
अरे वो क्या मर ही नहीं मरने का नाम ही नहीं ले रहे वो लैपटॉप 15 होने वाला है
अरे मैं बोल रहा भाई सबसे ब्रोकन मर जब तक इसको चेंज करने नहीं लोगे ना तब भी नहीं मर पाएगा क्योंकि इसका एक का 3 ही लाता है सोच
Here we go. Luminosity peeling back right here. They don't need this fight right now. Overlord actually
पता है लास्ट सिचुएशन सेम टू सेम
भर दिया ओवरलोड ने अभी ओवरलोड को अल्ट पड़ गई
अरे पता है
पुली लगाया भर दिया
लास्ट वाले मैच में सेम टू सेम सीन एलजी वालों के साथ था कि वो लीड में नहीं थे और मर भी नहीं रहे थे सोल वाले कुछ नहीं कर पा रहे थे इस बार सेम टू सेम वही इनके साथ है कुछ नहीं कर पा रहे भाई मर ही नहीं रहे इतने टाइम
teams in it, and every game is going to matter. And LG definitely needed this one to keep their chances alive.
Yes, they did. An incredible match here from Luminosity as they looked completely different.
अरे वो अम्ब्रियन भी नहीं मर रहा है भाई
बदौल तो 9 टेल्स में कुछ कर ही नहीं सकता
नाइस LG for the win.
No, it was almost like the research was reversed here, and one team
भाई
didn't
लैपटॉप
really
को
know
बैन
what
भाई ये ऊपर
the
गोल्ड
track
बैन दे
record
रहे
of the
पता है
other one
लैपटॉप बैन
was,
देना चाहिए
and couldn't make the adjustments on the fly. But guess what, Spragos? We got a game 3
अभी मेरा
for
नेट
ourselves.
पक हो गया ठीक है मैं जा रहा हूँ बाद में आता
game
हूँ
threes today, by the way, which is so awesome. I mean, this is
SETL
such
गया
a
last match
competitive
है
environment, and what else would you expect from some of the
अभी
top
1-1 है
teams in the world? Finally
1-1
meeting
चल रहा है
here
अभी
in Yokohama, Japan. We're going to send it back on over to Kello and Zoinks to break the whole thing down. Take it away.
Kello, if you told me that LG and S8UL is supposed to be going to a Game 3 in LG's debut match, well, I wouldn't have believed you, honestly. But we are here now, 1-1 between these two teams. What do you think changed up for LG in that game number 2?
Look, I told you earlier, they need to crack those knuckles and buckle up. Obviously, that first match was just their warm-up, and now they are really showing us why they were crowned the world champs last year. Obviously, such a dominant performance there. Who needs a Rayquaza? We don't need a Rayquaza here. We can just go get those back caps, and they just soared on up at the end, just widening that gap even further.
You can see they actually grabbed every other objective on the map. I mean, draft alone, I think, was the biggest thing in LG's credit. However, you can see their objective game was also phenomenal in that game number 2. Take a look at the actual numbers of the game, though. Again, Lapras just really cooking up big numbers. Ring with 93,000 on this Pokemon, but Overlord, again, I don't know if we'll see them without 6-digit damage numbers in this tournament. Already looking fantastic. Slash with only 33,000 damage. However, that mean look gameplay was looking really good in that game number 2.
Oh, definitely providing those mean looks there. But then you know what? You also have Elo, the trusty comfy pocket by your side. And we were saying, obviously, in comparison to a Clefable, you only have that. But I think they definitely spread that out well. But look at this. Team highlights. Obviously, going in, diving down, that in Helion, you cannot escape a comfy and Urshifu combo.
Yeah, I mean, the change up to the Rapid Strike Urshifu instead of the Zoroark is definitely a pretty big swap. You are going with a different school of thought, but what it gives you is a little less all-in. If Zoroark goes in and doesn't find that knockdown, you're sort of up the creek without a paddle. In an Urshifu, a chance you have a bit of a different angle. Of course, the Unite move can really swing things the other direction there. Can we talk about Curios on that Alolan Ninetales? This Pokemon has had so much impact in our tournament so far, and I don't think it's going to be stopping stopping anytime soon. This A9 has been so strong. LG definitely feeling a little bit better after that game number 1. Some nods of approval from the squad. And our player of the game is going to go to Overlord on their Urshifu.
Look, surprise, surprise, really. But obviously, having that attack weight there, getting those stacks in early, but as you mentioned, going for that surging strikes move, having the maneuverability over that rapid strike instead, I feel like this really pays off, especially when you have that comfy pocket.
Yeah, and honestly, we don't talk too much about liquidation, but with the way Overlord plays it, I think it really is a highlight of that move. It shreds defenses on the enemies every time you hit one of those, so you're going to see a lot of big engages immediately followed up by the Urshifu stamping on the ground to make the liquidation happen, and then following up on top.
क्या बता अभी क्या होने वाला है. हैवी था भाई, हैवी है. चलो कोई बात नहीं, लास्ट मैच जो होगा देख लेंगे क्या चलता है. हम तो अभी बंद ही कर रहे हैं, तुम लोग देखो बाकी के मैचेस, मजे करो. ठीक है, अपन आते हैं दोपहर को. चलो बाय बाय.